Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m. and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
All right, Bradford White Water Heaters brings you the 6 o'clock hour of The John Kincade Show on this Thursday morning. Appreciate you being with us. Bradford White's here for the pro. We're here for you. We're trying to be as dependable as Bradford White. I told Bob this morning, Bob, that is the best night's sleep I think I've had in forever. And I just slept like a baby. I don't know why. And it might have been thanks to Nick Nurse and the Sixers. Because I slept like a baby last night. Comfortable, wasn't waking up in the middle of the night. It was great. And part of it, I think, was the fact that I do not look at a November basketball game as any kind of statement, as any kind of what's going to happen in May when it really matters. But I've got to tell you, to me, it comes down to this. The Sixers, a big win last night, and it is a big win because you've got 4 meetings with the Celtics all year long. You win 106-103 yesterday. You win one of the 4 immediately. You'd love to win the season series. And you have the Celtics come back next Wednesday for another game. And those will be the 2 home games you get the Celtics this year. So you've got that. That's part of it. But to me, it's the classic question of addition versus subtraction. And I wondered, watching the Sixers go to victory last night, and it was a poor shooting night for a lot of the guys. It didn't seem like it seemed like a scrappy, sort of messy game at times. But to me, it's the question of one of them is having more impact. Is it the addition of Nick Nurse, or is it the subtraction of James Harden? And when I look at the quality of play, and as far as entertainment value, and I'm just talking entertainment value as a fan, there's no comparison between watching a team with James Harden and with this group here, what I saw here, and watching what I'm seeing right now. But is it the addition of Nick Nurse, a tactician, a attention to detail guy, a ball movement guy? It's so much fun to watch. It's so much different than anything that I've been seeing recently in the Sixers history. So one of them is more important, and we're going to get you involved in this discussion. One of them is bigger. Is it the addition or the subtraction, Bobby, as we get rolling this morning after a 106-103 victory by the Sixers last night?
Well, I think the addition of Nurse comes at a good time. I mean, I hear what you're saying about Harden, but, I've said this like a broken record. They were playing the best basketball in the NBA for a 55-game stretch last year with James Harden as the point guard. So you can't forget that. I hear you go into the playoffs. I know what he did in the playoffs. It's undescribable why he can't get it done in the playoffs. I don't know. That's been his history. And it all faded that way, and it all ended ugly and all the stuff there. But they were playing great basketball last year with James Harden at the point. He's gone. Forget about it. You got to get him out of your mind. You have to forget about it. Stop looking him up. Stop thinking about him. He's gone. That's like Nick Nurse. When I talked to him the other day, he's like, yeah, I don't know. He wasn't here. So I can't
Nick
tell you.
wasn't here for it, though.
I can't tell you. No, I mean at the beginning of this season for practices and all. He wasn't here. And when he was here, he wasn't engaged. So it doesn't matter. Like, he's gone. Forget about it. Gone. It was good basketball when he was playing good for the Sixers for, like I said, that 50-game stretch. Let's not forget it. But it's moved on. Nick Nurse might be the perfect coach for this group of individuals right now. And I do love the ball movement. I love the different things he's doing. Last night, we'll get into it. There are so many little intricacies of that game last night. What Boston was trying to implement, the way Nick Nurse decided to counter, who he decided to use and how. That was a real chess match last night. And it didn't come out as a 130-125. Oh, that was great basketball. No, it came out as like a dogfight 106-103 Sixers win that had a lot of chess pieces moving in that game.
Pat, he had his chance. All reports. Nick Nurse could have chosen the Phoenix Suns. Nick Nurse could have chosen the Milwaukee Bucks. And he chose the Sixers. And I asked why. Flat out why.
I'm still asking why.
And, well, now we're glad that he did.
No,
welcome
yeah,
back, by the
absolutely.
way. Glad to see you feeling better. I'm looking now at Nick Nurse and saying, did Nick Nurse see something that he thought would work? Because he thought James Harden would be here when he took the job, I figure. I mean,
I think so too. Maybe the thing he saw, because we all had the same reaction at the time, which was, all right, we love the Sixers, but Milwaukee's out there. It seems like a better job. Phoenix, well, pretty sure they just traded for Bradley Beal, so that seems like a more enticing job. Why here? Maybe the thing he saw was Tyrese Maxey, because he's taken his game to a new level. I would have loved to see James Harden in his offense. I do think the big change. So you would have? Yeah, I do think the big change is just simply Nick Nurse. When James Harden had his press conference out in L.A., one of the things he said was he felt like he was handcuffed in last year's system. So it was really a shot at Doc Rivers. And this team's system under Nick Nurse is way more fun to watch than Doc Rivers. And I would have liked to see James Harden's creativity in this system. Obviously, as Bob said, you got to get over it. It's not going to happen. He moved on. And they're playing really good basketball. Last year they played the best basketball in the NBA, during that stretch. Well,
beat a lot of the tomato cans.
But right now they're playing the best basketball in the NBA.
Yep, they are.
Hard to argue with the record.
And them in Denver.
And yesterday's litmus test, it was passed. Typical Sixers game. They tried to do everything that they could against Boston to lose it at the very end. We can never just hammer Boston. You ever notice that? It can never just be a nice 10, 15-point win. It's always
nope.
No, you can't kick back.
And they can do it to us in Boston.
Yeah, but you know what? We can laugh about it because they won. But it's way more of an enjoyable watch if you're just a basketball fan, this year's team as opposed to last year's team.
And listen, because I listened to the last quarter with Tom McGinnis on my 97.5 The Fanatic app, and was listening to be able to listen through on the Sixers app, to be able to hear Tom do it. And Tom was having fun last night. And is there any bad blood with Sam Cassell, Bob?
I don't think so. Well,
no, I think they enjoyed Sam Cassell.
Did you see Embiid at the end when he hit the three?
Went over to their bench?
He was at Sam Cassell.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
Tom McGinnis in the game goes, "Take that, Sammy."
Yeah, I think that's just
playful.
Yeah, in the moment you're serious, but I don't think there's any necessarily bad blood.
Yeah, because in the moments before it, he was talking about that Sam Cassell taught him something, a move that he used.
Right.
So
maybe he was showing him that. Maybe he was saying to him, thank you for that, or
just
show
busting
me for
stones.
that. Okay,
that's just sports, man. You go to the other team. All right, you're on my team. I love you. You go to the other team. I want to beat you better than anybody.
Did Sam Cassell have a chance to stay?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
either.
the ins and
Yes,
outs.
I don't
There's only 55 guys on the coaching staff.
Exactly.
So
the coaching staff is huge.
There's only enough room for a few people there.
There's a coach for every player.
It's insane.
It's insane. Hey, it is a big. I ask you, addition or subtraction being bigger? Is it bigger that now that they've got Nick Nurse, the addition, or is it bigger that they've moved on and now Tyrese Maxey, as Pat points out, has a chance to shine, show his game a little bit more? Jay in West Philly joins us at 610-632-0975. Hi, Jay.
Good morning, y'all.
Jay, what's bigger, addition or subtraction?
I say addition.
Okay.
Because what I was going to ask Bob is, do you think Embiid has his coach? Like every great star had their coach.
No, Jay, it's a great question. And it's something that I've been thinking about since I got up this morning when I started thinking about the Sixers game. Great players kind of make coaches better, right?
Exactly.
Is Joel Embiid kind of the opposite, where he needed the right coach to make him and the team even better?
You just look at the pattern of the NBA, Bob, and that's what I was asking. Every great star, when they got to that star level, they had their coach. Because, Doug Collins was early, Mike, till he got Phil Jackson.
Right.
Bill Harris had Kobe till Phil Jackson came in. LeBron, he had all that stuff, but then he had Spoelstra. Is this his coach to, divide it? Because I love the way he using matchups. Because, Tobias is a viable player. You see matchups. You say, all right, you go attack that matchup. You seen Tobias confidently backing down Jaylen Brown and attacking, going to the rack. These players look different.
They do.
And I don't know if Harden would have worked in that system because he's so ball dominant.
Yeah.
These players grab the rebound and go. And they attack matchups.
Always looking to move forward.
And Harden wants to be the guy. This offense, I mean, look, this team is Joel Embiid's. And Tyrese Maxey is, I guess, is it his chore to make that happen? To make sure that is always happening? That he's the focus of this team? He's the focal point?
Well, yeah, I mean, you get a third grader in there, they're going to be smart enough to see, oh, wait, this guy's really good. I'm going to give him the ball. Nick, it's interesting. We don't know if Harden would have fit in with Nick. Nick Nurse doesn't know how Harden would have fit in with his offense. So it's almost like I'm kind of with Pat, the way he's so smart, basketball IQ, and knows how to pass the ball and outlet passes. I think he would have fit in if he decided not to be ball dominant. But I just think this group, and God, last night was such, like I said earlier, such a chess match. You saw it from the opening tip. Sixers go down offensively. Who's covering Joel Embiid? Drew Holiday. Playing him man-to-man, like the whole first half, and then they went to it again in the third quarter. Why? Because Joel Embiid plays a finesse game. He plays like a guard game. We know how big and powerful he is, but he doesn't shoot the ball up over by the rim an awful lot. He likes to dribble to get to a spot. He likes to ball handle. So Boston did a really interesting thing in my book. They put Drew Holiday on him so that when he did put the ball on the floor, he's already there. He's 6'4", he's down to the ground. He can get a hand on a dribble. All of those things. And what it led to was Boston did that defensively to get their offense going. What I mean by that is Drew Holiday was able to poke balls away. When they missed shots, they got out and ran. And Boston got out and had like 7 or 8 transition baskets in the first quarter. It was a really cool thing. Then Nick Nurse went back at it. Nicholas Batum went in for Kelly Oubre to play some defense and do different things there. It was just a great chess match last night, and it was cool to have Nick Nurse at the helm because you were confident he was going to make the last move.
It was there really was a chess match. And if I had told you going into the game that of like your starters, like Tobias Harris, Melton, and Maxey, so those 3 guys in your starting lineup, I'm trying to do the math right now as I go along, that they would be 17 of 48 for the game. 17 of 48, the 3 of them shooting. You're winning a game when you're not shooting well. And to me, Bob, that was always the death knell last year. When the Sixers didn't shoot well, it was just like that was not going to be a night their most nights they were going to win. That was not a good shooting night by those guys, and they managed, and Maxey put up 27 shots. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be loving life. Tyrese has to be loving life. He has a contract coming up, and he's being showcased. He is absolutely a showcase player. And 3 for 11 from three-point range for Tyrese, not bad. I mean, that's not bad, but it's a little bit of off. But, I mean, we're talking about a bad shooting night, and the Sixers won against the best team in the East. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be a dogfight. And Boston came in and had a plan to dumb down Joel Embiid and force the ball out of his hands, by not allowing him those quick dribble things. It was an interesting game plan by them. And then, like I said, Nurse counters with Nick Batum, and I'm looking, or now it's Nico apparently or something, whatever. But he counters with Batum, and I found it interesting. Monday night when I was at the game, he puts him in as one of his first subs, and I was like, the guy hasn't been here. And he admitted to knowing 4 plays and then dump the ball down to Joel Embiid is what else to do. So he doesn't
really have a good thing to do.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a feel. But for some reason, Nurse seems to have a comfort level with Batum. Oubre was out of the game for a while there. Did a good thing towards the end where they were trying to play defense. He put in Covington, but then that kind of backfired because the offense went stale and Boston goes on a 10-0 run. It was the yin and yangs of things, and it was like a real mental battle as much as it was a physical one.
Did you hear, Pat, what they were chanting last night at James Harden in Brooklyn?
No.
Daryl Morey, when he was touching the ball.
Did they? I don't.
They beat them.
I didn't follow the game.
The Nets beat the Clippers.
Oh,
and every time he was touching the ball, Daryl Morey. It was like a college game. They were having so much fun with him. So
that's good.
Look, it's good. 6-1.
I don't like them.
6-1. By the way, at Detroit this weekend, Friday night. You'll hear it here on the Fanatic. And then home and home separated by a night with Indiana. So you play Indiana, you play home with Indiana. So the schedule light early, sort of like the Eagles, Bob, where you can get your foot under you, and a lot of home games.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already 5-0 at home, and they've got 3 more home games. By this time next week, they will have already played 3 more home games.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, talking to the guys down there last week, they were saying how great it is to start a season and you can stay, you know, at your own house for a week at a time or 10 or 12 days. Then you go to Detroit and you come right back home. That's a nothing trip. And you go, Indiana, Boston again. So you have to pile up the wins now. It comes back to you. It comes back to you come March and April when you say, oh, man, you're 3 games behind this or 2 more wins and you would have been here. Or, you know, you're 0-2 against the Celtics, so they have that advantage on you.
Start going.
Yeah, I know it's November. I know exactly where it is in the NBA season. But to me, it's never too early, too late, too any time to just play good basketball.
And if you can win the game next week here, and then steal one of the ones in Boston, just having that tiebreaker just matters in the division, just knowing that. And knowing you beat good teams, which is really, really good start. If you want to get in on that discussion, you can. Addition and subtraction and more celebration of the Sixers, you can. But I want to know about threats. And yes, even when you're 8-1, you have threats. We'll get to that next. John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic. You know, a lot of people don't want to deal with BS at work. And when you're an IT director for a company, you know that there are problems that can pop up at any time of night because your phone has gone off when somebody Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Your chance to win a trip to spring training. Well, you'll have one of 30 chances of the people who are able to qualify. Coming up at 8 o'clock today, 15th caller gets a $25 gift card to Rally House. Philly Sports Trips will take you down to spring training. It's going to be freaking amazing. And 97.5 The Fanatic, of course, taking care of you too. So we'll make sure that you've got that opportunity. Game time comes your way at 8:30 today. And we look forward to that. Pat, life-changing prizes, fabulous prizes. How do I properly tease that? Fabulous, possible, life-changing. Oh, I love that. Okay, good. That is really, really good. We have that going on. All right. In the off week, it is starting to – it's like I said last week, oh, boy, I need a week off from the Eagles. Pat, I think you said it too. Like a week off would be good, right?
Yeah.
Is it a little breather?
Hey, it's good to kind of decompress, get your mind right.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that way on Thursday
neither
morning. No, I'm not. Now I'm like, I really wish I could see them play again. And it's like the weekend off. And they don't play till Monday the 20th. Today's the 9th. We don't see a game till the 20th.
Yeah, I'm strangely okay with it. I don't know why.
What do you have planned? You have something planned?
Well, we got a wedding on Saturday.
Okay. So you have something fun to look forward to there.
Yeah, I think it's because where the team is more than where I am. I just think, and we talked about this the other day, John, when you were taking your rest, was that I don't think it could have come at a better time. You could have looked game through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After what week would a bye been the best? I do think this is the one.
I think it is.
Yeah, so therefore, that's why I'm so excited after the bye to see how it plays out with all the tough games that they have. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll come Sunday morning, I'll probably be kicking the wall saying I got nothing to look forward to.
Well, you can watch the
Although
Jags.
Sunday night, you have the Sixers, Indiana Pacers,
right.
So I'll be going down to that. Yeah.
1 o'clock, Jags will try to knock off the 49ers for us. Because of the 49ers get a fourth loss. Good night. Good night. It's completely over for them beating the Eagles out in the conference if that game goes down. So there's one you're watching for. So you got that. I want to ask everybody, though, this question. And you guys first, obviously. Did the Cowboys identify themselves as the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC the other night? Because in my mind, the answer is yes. And I will be honest. If you tell me that the Cowboys make the playoffs as a wild card and they win and the Eagles have to host them divisional playoff weekend or they have to host them in the NFC Championship game, I'm going to be so much more nervous than I was last year with either of the matchups. I think the Cowboys identified themselves as threat number one. It's the familiarity between the two teams. I think it's a little bit of the animosity between the two teams. And I got to say, in retrospect, Dallas, again, good job. They did a good job the other night. It was a really, really good game. And self-inflicted wounds took them down. But I won't go into the NFC Championship game going, oh, yeah, Eagles are going to just blow the doors off this team. No way. The Cowboys at least have impressed me, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in December and seeing if it's maybe I'm putting too much on what I saw the other night. But I see them as the biggest threat in the NFC. Well,
as you pointed out yesterday, the Eagles haven't blown out anybody this year. So I don't think we can look at any team and say, the Eagles, they're going to come in here and the Eagles are going to blow them out. I don't know. I might be more scared of the 49ers if they come in here healthy. If Purdy's healthy, Deebo Samuel now is healthy, the shoulder seems to be okay. They still have Christian McCaffrey. They still have an awful lot of good things there. Oh, yeah, and they picked up Chase Young. They could come in here and beat the Eagles. If that happens, I'll say, no, I'm more scared of them. You know, because
if they came back in, you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I still look within. But, yeah, I think the Eagles have serious challenges, not just the Cowboys. And you're right, maybe they are the biggest challenge. But like I said, if San Francisco comes in here fully healthy, Eagles fully healthy, and San Francisco comes in here and wins, then you're scratching your head saying, ow, San Francisco, Dallas, wow, there's some teams that the Eagles are going to have to beat somehow.
It doesn't look like last year, but Pat, I mean, if you're talking the NFC landscape, is Dallas the biggest threat?
No, I still go with San Fran. But San Fran to me is like the last must-win game on the schedule.
Okay, if the Jags beat them Sunday.
Yeah.
And they lose 4 in a row.
Uh-huh.
in the middle of the season, would that in any way sway your opinion and go, okay, that team is obviously not as good as we make them out to be?
Probably depends on who's playing for them.
Okay.
Like who's healthy. I think that's a big part of their losing stretches. You're without your left tackle, you're without Deebo Samuel. Brock Purdy's coming back from a concussion. So if they're 100% healthy, then it's hard to make that case, I guess. Doug Peterson's a good coach. He's got the Jags playing really good football, so it'll be a game certainly to keep an eye on.
1 o'clock, by the way, and it's being shown locally.
Wouldn't be overly shocked, I guess. I mean, the Jags, and I think it was Clay Harbor said it. We just look at the Jags as, oh, they're the Jags, but no, he's got them playing pretty decent football. So, but I still look at them, for now at least, as probably the biggest threat.
Okay, so you both go 49ers on this?
Well,
are you leaning, or you're just saying, you're saying if the 49ers get healthy and then you could see them being the team?
I'm like this week. Yeah, okay, I'll say Dallas is. After Sunday, maybe I say it's the 49ers. It's so week to week. I mean, like I said, if the 49ers get totally healthy, they're back to where they were the best team in the NFL for the first 4 weeks of the season. If they get totally healthy and start playing that way again, God, yeah, they're a challenge. It's
the biggest challenge, though, is the biggest threat. I look at the Cowboys' familiarity, and that to me is one that I think that there's so much. I don't think Dallas is in any way bothered coming into Philly, and I don't think Philly's bothered going into Dallas, even though Dallas has dominated them sort of recently, has dominated this matchup more recently. I just that they wouldn't be traveling. I would think that the Eagles would have home field advantage, but Dallas can come in here and play, and they show it over and over again. They have every year after year, they're not intimidated. They're not the crowd. They almost feed off it a little bit, and they talked about that. One of the things is, though, I don't know if you saw any of the Dallas players talking after the game. They love the crowd. It's almost like they're taunting their own home fans. We gotta make it uncomfortable for them when they come down here. We'll be waiting for them, and our fans hopefully are they're talking like they look at that crowd as a factor in the game, as an energy, as a noise, as a, not an intimidation, as you say, Bob. Professional athletes don't tend to be people that are easily intimidated.
Yeah.
But they're calling for their fans to really whoop it up and make sure that the Eagles face a nasty environment. Yeah.
After you play here, I'm sure that's what you want, because you see the way the Eagles fans react. So you want that at your home stadium. I've never been down. I've been in the Dallas Stadium, but that was for an NBA All-Star game. I've never been down there to see how rabid their fans may be or not.
I think it's like a mall.
I don't know.
I would tell you, it's like a beautiful mall. It is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous stadium.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
But it doesn't have the energy.
Yeah, I just don't know what the fans are like there for a Dallas Cowboys game. Like I said, I was only there for an NBA All-Star game. But I can't imagine it's like Philadelphia.
No.
So, yeah, they're probably begging for that to happen. But it's going to be it's going to be a wild finish to this season in the NFC to see who's playing their best football when. San Fran was playing it, got some injuries. Dallas, has had some bad losses, but also some really good wins with an offense that, when clicking, is pretty good. Great game on Sunday that the Eagles pulled out. It's just the ride of the season that's what I love, the roller coaster ride of the season. It's almost like equating it. You brought up something, I think, before the show, John, to me about somebody saying, I don't care about the Sixers now. I'll wait until the playoffs because they're going to lose in the second. Okay, well, you're missing out on a whole season. And if you're looking at this Eagles team right now saying, well, yeah, but all that matters is coming into getting 2 home playoff games, I agree with that, but it's not all that matters. The regular season matters. People, why are you guys talking so much about a 7th game of the season with the Sixers? Sorry, that's what we do.
Exactly.
That's what we do for a living. We talk sports, and if you want us to just sit here and say, yeah, they won, the game means nothing, well, you're going to get 4 hours of silence. But I'm so intrigued with who's playing well when, particularly in the NFL. And we've talked about it before. Oh, you're not playing your best football now. Okay. Some people already have, maybe. Some people haven't yet. And some people are getting close to it now.
And one of the things you talk about, Bob, is and you talk about with the Sixers, and it matters with the Eagles too, is the whole stockpiling of wins. It matters. Though the games in November in the NBA don't seem like they matter as much. It's way early. They matter come April when you're a 3 seed and not a 2 seed. And last year, if you played better against Boston, you could have been the 2 seed, could have had Game 7 at home. It matters. Like, these things matter. You got to get – last year you were 29-12 at home. You're 5-0 to start the season at home. That's great. Then hopefully you can continue to rise on that because you want to have home court for a couple of rounds, minimum. And if you get it for 3, it's freaking awesome. So things matter. And in a regular season in the NFL, as you say, the Eagles have just stockpiled the wins. They just put them in the pantry. They got 8 wins already, and they're resting and trying to get more healthy.
Yeah, regular seasons do matter. You know, they really do.
For seeding, yes.
For seeding, for figuring out. Okay, last night, Nick Nurse may have figured out that Nick Batum, wow, he really does play decent defense on Jason Tatum. He causes concern for their wings with his length. You just figure out things that you stockpile, you put in your bag, and you remember it, and you carry it on. Nick Sirianni's probably still learning more about this team as time goes on. Sean Desai about his defense, so on and so forth. You can't just go through a regular season and say, okay, playoffs, turn it on. Here we go. Let's play our best football, basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever. No, you got to figure it out during the regular season.
Do you have an answer as far as out there, as far as who is the biggest threat in the NFC? I think it's the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys look a little different to me. They look different. And they tend to be the punchline in this city, and they tend to be a joke. I see something a little different in the Cowboys. I see a better approach this year. I think that Mike McCarthy calling plays is better than what they had before. And if you have an answer for us, you can at 610-632-0975. Pat, any biting on the Lions? I mean,
No.
Okay, it seems like everybody has that same answer. And by the way, I tend to lean towards going, yeah, they're not ready to win yet.
No.
But you don't.
They're in a bad division. You know, I thought before the season started, I thought anybody that comes out of the North is not a true contender, so we don't have to worry about them. It's just a rough stretch there. You got Justin Fields, Jordan Love, gross Kirk Cousins.
You sound like you're going to vomit.
I mean,
Joshua Dobbs now in Minnesota.
Well, yay, right? I mean,
he won against the Falcons, which is funny.
Incredible. No. I do think that out of the two teams that you look at with Dallas and San Fran, Dallas has a better chance of coming into Philly and beating the Eagles than San Fran does.
I think so, too.
I think Dallas' shortcomings come against everybody else.
Because Dak
just ups his game against the Eagles. Everybody else, he kind of goes back down to earth a little bit. But, in last season, I remember being a little bit worried about the Cowboys more so than the 49ers coming here. And then the Cowboys ended up doing what the Cowboys do in January and, choking. So that was cool.
Sometimes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just pretty much... I still view. You
don't do Lions.
I view the 49ers as number 1, the Cowboys as number 2. It's like a 1A, 1B, and then everybody else is just a non-competitor.
Dak and Purdy, Bob. There's no question. Who could come in here in January and win a playoff game? I think it's Dak. Brock Purdy does not scare me. Does not scare me in the least. Now, some of his weapons do.
Yeah, I got to say it's an incomplete for me. I haven't seen enough of Purdy to be scared or to say he's not good enough. He just doesn't have a big enough resume. And when he did come here, he got plastered and couldn't finish out the game.
Was he at the tailgate before the game?
Yeah, and then he got plastered by his son Reddick afterwards. But I don't know. He has had the 49ers as one of the best teams in football through 4 or 5 weeks of this season. That's not an easy task. It only takes 3 weeks to play really good football or be at the best of your game to advance to a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's going to happen. Brock Purdy's done some pretty interesting things. Dak Prescott has a bigger resume, has given the Eagles troubles before. We haven't seen that in Purdy yet. So, yeah, you have to lean towards Prescott as the guy that's going to scare you, air quotes, more.
Let's see Alex in Havertown, what you have to say. Alex, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Who's the bigger threat, Alex, do you see?
I gotta say the Cowboys too. Being a Philadelphia fan my whole life, it sucks to say it, but the Niners know what happened last year. They came to the link in the NFC Championship. They didn't have the stuff, despite the injuries. The Cowboys, they have a different chip on their shoulder when it comes to playing the Eagles. The other teams in the NFC, they have the fear factor when it comes to playing in the link. And I think the Eagles barely squeaked away with the victory on Sunday.
So do I.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
refs
think
were
that.
calling it bad both ways. You know, the Cowboys put up a fight. I mean, we all watched it. It came down to the very last play, about 2 yards. So, you know, I think, you know, we got it's going to be a tough one in Dallas when the season comes on, but I would love to see the Cowboys in the NFC Championship and beat them.
No, I don't
go to
want
the Super Bowl.
Alex, I will have. I got to tell you, Bob, I wouldn't sleep. Good job, Alex.
You wouldn't sleep a week leading up to Dallas?
Dallas game for a trip to the Super Bowl, because I would be thinking of the alternative.
No.
Of Dallas getting there.
No, that's
yes,
a loser mentality.
No,
John, you're better than that.
They're a threat. They're a distinct threat.
Good.
I think they'll
love
show
threats. That's your challenge. That's sports.
I think they'll show us on December 10th. That would be, Pat, the ultimate smack. If Dallas came in here and won to go to the Super Bowl and somehow won a Super Bowl, that's awful.
I don't even want to talk about.
I know
that.
it's awful.
That is,
but I think Alex is being honest.
no.
That'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it was.
Worst.
That's why
I look at it as it'd be the best thing ever. It'd be the best NFC championship win for me since 1981 when I was a little kid and watched Wilbert Montgomery go for 41 yards right off the bat. Like, that's how I look at it first. Good. Bring in the so-called best, the hated, the whatever. I'm not worried about losing to them. I'm thinking, yeah, could be one of your greatest wins ever.
You're in the minority.
Bob's in the minority of this.
Like, and
I don't think so.
I want the Motor City Kitties.
You skew positive when it comes to Philly sports. Like, that's the way you look at it is, no, I want that matchup, and the anxiety level in this city will be at an all-time high.
Oh, my God.
Leading up to that, and I hate it. I'm with John.
Pat,
I
you
hate
know
it. Because
you know it. It would be a tough.
You want them to play the Phillies?
No, but the anxiety, yeah. I'd love for them to play the Phillies. It means they go to the Super Bowl, you jackass. Yeah, I want them to play the Phillies. I'm with John. I want them to play a high school team. I want them to play the Cardinal Doherty Cardinals if it means that they can go to the Super Bowl.
I want them to play the Saints and then the Lions.
If my team's not in it, yeah, I want that amazing matchup. If my team's in it, I want the easiest path to victory.
I hear you.
And to have the hated rival coming in here, the anxiety level isn't going to be because it's the Dallas Cowboys. The anxiety level is going to be because everybody's thinking, what if? What if they lose? What if we have to hear about it from those rats that live in Jersey that have never actually been in Dallas?
Terrible.
Like, that's the anxiety level. I don't want that.
I think Tyrone may just just start punching people that week.
Don't misconstrue that I'm
his own family.
rooting for it to be Dallas. But if it does happen, yeah, my first thought really isn't like, oh my God, what if the Cowboys come in here and beat them? It's, oh great, you could win an NFC championship at home against the Cowboys.
You're wearing a Quincy Carter jersey right now.
That'll be like one of your top 3 Eagles wins sans Super Bowl
it would be amazing.
Oh, no, you're 100% right. 100% right. And we will look at it after the game if they win, just like the way you said. But the week leading up to the game will be hell.
By the way,
it will be mental torture.
It'd be hell.
I don't want that for myself.
By the way, Joe is my friend, but somehow he sides with Bob constantly, sending me texts. By the way, I'm with Bob on this.
Yeah, Joe's smart.
He wants it. No, he's not. He isn't. Derek in Philadelphia joins us. Derek, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, John?
What are you up to, Derek?
What's going on, man? Now, y'all know the 49er fan will always call in.
Yes, and you are a logical fan.
You know, I am illogical. If the 49ers were to play the Eagles next week, the 49ers are going to lose. And the reason why is, forget about the offense. The offense is okay with the Niners. They can't stop water with the running game right now. And the way you guys are running the ball, the way you guys are passing the ball, y'all have a running back, y'all have a wide receiver. My team would not stop y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. The Cowboys is a better matchup. They know you guys. You guys are division rivals. To me, I still think the Cowboys will be a tougher matchup for you right now, as of right now.
I think it will be too, but December 3rd, if you guys are healthy, that's going to be a hell of a game.
I would like to see, because I'm going to still hold you to it. I'm still going to call you, and you said you're going to be there with your daughter, right?
I hope so, as long as the oncologist says I can go.
Okay,
I hope so.
So I'm going to call you up, man. Wish you well, but
all right, buddy.
I wish we will beat you guys, but y'all be safe.
I know that. Good job.
Thanks, Derek.
I love when an opposing fan can call living in a market and can be objective.
Yeah, we
about
just
their
have a
team.
nice Discord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not be like, you guys suck. And I love Derek's a very intelligent, fan. I love that. All right, we got a lot coming up, including we're waving goodbye to somebody, and Bob thinks, well, it brings up a bunch of different dominoes of moves that have to be contemplated. We'll get to that next. John Kincade Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Look, the temps are getting colder. I saw
5, The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. I just want to take the time to thank Joe, who comes out to a few of our live shows. Our first Friday events brought to you by David Auto. Gave me a nice card the other day, and I didn't have a chance to really read it. I was sort of in the zone, and really nice. I appreciate everybody taking the time to send support. And I want to thank, of course, this morning, the IBEW 654 Electrical Workers Union. Good job. Thank you very much. I appreciate the hat. And we are almost out of hat season. And I cannot wait to be out of hat season.
I have to thank somebody. I don't know who it is, but somebody sent me an Eric Allen jersey.
What?
Yeah, I just got it in the mail. It just said, a listener. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
They didn't send a note with it or anything?
It's just like, hey, enjoy it, and if you can't fit into it, give them to someone else. And
that's incredible.
Unfortunately, I couldn't fit into it, but I gave it to Matt Nark, who's
and Stat can fit in it.
I mean, he was geeking out over this thing. He was so pumped. He was like, "What do you want for it?" And I was like, "Nothing, dude. You can have it. You know, I got it for free." So, just seeing that smile on your face, Matt, is enough. But
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, whoever sent that to me, I do really appreciate it, and it did go to a good home. It went to Matt, who
Stat is crazy.
Yeah, he's a huge Eric Allen fan. So
I got to thank nobody. Nobody sent me
You have
anything.
nobody to thank?
No.
Seriously.
So you guys are just lucky. But later
somebody send
on
Bob
today,
something, please.
Yes.
Live Casino Geno's. That's right. We're going to get some cheesesteaks. Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. They're adding another hometown legend to the 10th Street Market, the cheesesteak of all cheesesteaks, the world-famous Geno's. Unbelievable. It's going to be great. Geno's joins other Philadelphia favorites in the casino, such as Termini Brothers, Lorenzo and Sons Pizza, and Sankey Noodle Bar and Kitchen, turning 10th Street Market into the ultimate destination for a taste classic Philly flavor right in the heart of the Stadium District. From Geno's world-famous menu, you get to enjoy sizzling steak sandwiches, all the other things, Italian hoagies, side of cheese fries, John, which I know you love. Geno's, it's going to be open every day at 5 p.m. during the week and open at noon on the weekends until 10 p.m. So you need to go and enjoy the only stop you need to make for a taste of famous Philly flavors in South Philadelphia.
That sounds great, and we look forward to that. Welcome in. Say goodbye to Reese Hoskins. And General Manager Bryce Harper made the decision.
No, he didn't.
Well, he did.
Didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, Dombrowski came out and said, I'll do whatever's best for the club, whatever you guys decide. Dombrowski said they then left him, went and talked about it, and decided to keep him at first base.
And his answer was, though, I want to play first base.
His answer was, what Dombrowski said in today's stories, I will do whatever is best for the club, whatever you guys want me to do.
But he said he wanted to play first base. That was his choice. That was his first choice, to be a first baseman, that he liked it. And that's great. I mean, look, it's great it's the right move.
Yeah.
It's the right move to move on. I'm not arguing the move, but it is a move that then leaves you with what, Bob? We have now first baseman Bryce Harper. The infield is sort of set. I think it's set in stone.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's no question.
There's no question.
It's all set in stone.
Yeah. Where do you go from here as far as outfield goes? Now, there's been talk. Are you happy with Nick Castellanos out in right field, or do you look to move on from them? We saw in this season the ups and downs of what Nick Castellanos has been since he's been a Philadelphian, right? We saw some really good stuff that got him over 100 RBIs, the home run hitting streak that he went on in the playoffs, all of that great defensive play over the last 2 years. Really good defensive play. On the surface, what more do you need from a right fielder? But, they might be thinking, Johan Rojas, it appears that people in the organization don't think he's your everyday center fielder just yet. You still have Crawford down in the minor leagues, so that's open. You still have Marsh in left field. Is he a guy that you move to center while you grow Crawford and figure out what Rojas is? Do you move some of those guys? Now left field looks to be open. Where do you go from there? Is it a trade? Is it a Mike Trout? Is it all this, that, and the other? I don't know. It's you got to figure that outfield out.
I would like to see Nick Castellanos moved. I would like to see something changed up about this team. And it's no knock on Nick because he's a better RBI guy than Reese Hoskins would be. But I don't want to see them just roll it back. I want to see a change. And I got one issue with the outfield, Bob, with Dave Dombrowski, that numerous Philly writers who cover the team say that, no, it's not going to be Rojas unless he shows offensive improvement. They don't believe he's ready to be the everyday center fielder. But in the biggest games of the lifetime for this team, biggest games, they said Rojas was fine. I have no idea what they're thinking.
Well, wait a second.
If you said if Rojas was good enough to play the biggest games of your season over and over again.
Well, who else are you going to put there?
Well, I'm going to Brandon Marsh.
Then you have who's your left fielder?
No, I'm saying then you're going to make it. You're going to put
No.
You put Pache there.
Oh God, no! Come on, John.
What?
Pache, a 175 hitter. You're complaining about Rojas.
No, I'm not complaining about Rojas.
Well,
I like Rojas. I'm complaining about the thought process that so he wasn't good enough, but you used him in the biggest games of the year.
Pache isn't good enough to put out there every day for a playoff series. Let's not kid ourselves.
But Pache
you put out there what was the best for you at the time. You can't yell about it now. We can't complain that the Phillies did it now because all through the playoffs, we all decided and agreed that was your best lineup
Bob,
to have out there.
You're not listening to me.
I am listening to you.
I like the fact that they played him. I like the fact that that he was the guy, and they didn't put Marsh there, and they didn't put Pache there. I like that he was the center fielder because I think he saves a run every game. Almost every game, I think he saves a run.
So
I like that.
Against yourself or me?
No, what I'm saying is that then the organization says, no, he's not good enough. That he's not
you
good
can
enough.
do better. That's you just said you want to change. Sure, you want change because you always want to get better. He was what they had. He was what they had to put in there. We all agreed because he's a very good fielder. You have a great lineup. He's going to bat ninth. That's what you had. Do you want to get better than that? That's sports. Damn straight I want to get better than that. You can get better than that right now.
If I can play him in the biggest games, Pat.
You had nothing else.
If I can play him in center field in the biggest games, I can play him in April and May and June and let supposedly the greatest hitting coach in the world bring him along and get him better.
Well, look, we're getting fired up over reports from beat writers that are unsubstantiated. Like they're going on what they think, not what was told to them.
Then they're not reports.
By Dave Dombrowski, whatever it is. You're arguing semantics at this point. We hadn't hear this from Dombrowski, who spoke yesterday. I agree with you. I think I don't know where else they'd go. I think Rojas is your center fielder. I think an outfield of Brandon Marsh and Nick Castellanos and that lineup is good enough where you can deal with growing pains from Rojas, who, by the way, revision history is incredible with Rojas because he was fine in the regular season, and then all of a sudden the playoffs came around, and he started struggling, and all of a sudden everyone was like, man, this kid can't hit. So I don't know where else they'd go. They don't really have another option. I don't want Pache in there. He's depth. But I'm also not going to get pumped up about a beat writer's opinion on the matter. He doesn't think because a lot can change from now until March or April.
It seems to be a prevailing opinion amongst the writers that cover the Phillies, though, that they're hearing something. Those guys are hearing something. I don't think they're just speculating that they don't believe that Rojas is the guy. Let Rojas be brought along and let him play center field. Let him be your ninth hitter. Let him play center field and let Long earn his money and bring this young man along. By the way, Pache, too, was a 238 hitter, Bob. In 95,
played a career 170.
I don't care what his career was. Last year, he had a good year. He's developed. Guys develop in their career.
Mike
Schmidt was a terrible at bat his first 2 years.
Yeah, 60 and 70 at bats.
And then you come along.
That's what Pache had.
95.
You're really going to go die on Pache?
No, but I'm
Pat
saying
said it perfectly. He's a depth guy.
I love Rojas being the center fielder, and I'm fine with him playing in April and May and June and learning the game and getting better and learning at the major league level.
Right. So you don't agree with the Phillies saying that he is not the center fielder right now moving forward.
And the Phillies haven't said that.
They haven't said it yet on record. Correct.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about? That's what it started here.
No, it started with the reports from...
The reports from the writers are saying they don't believe that the Phillies are going to go with Rojas unless he shows significant improvement over the winter. Unless he goes with significant improvement. Victor in San Diego joins us. Victor, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey,
How
man.
you guys doing?
Doing good, buddy.
Hey, I was waiting. It's a coincidence that you guys brought up the Phillies topic because I woke up this morning with some scenarios here, and I wanted to see what you guys think now that the Angels got Ron Washington as manager, and it looks like they might go young as far as the future and stuff. So bear with me, and hopefully, okay. So the first thing I would do if I were the Phillies, I'm good with airing Nola and Hoskins go. They don't do it for me. They're not clutch. They don't do it for me. So let them go. You sign Yamamoto, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. It's going to take a lot.
That's fine, but it's not our money, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Good point, Victor.
You sound like our buddy Jamie said that.
Yeah, so if you sign him, you let Nola go. Then I got a trade proposal.
No. I know where you're going.
Bring Mike Trout
Oh,
home.
jeez.
Okay. You get rid of Castellanos. You give him Suarez. You give him our second or third top prospect.
No! Ranger Suarez? No!
Hold up. And then along with two other players, you bring Trout home. You sign Corey Bellinger.
I like Cody Bellinger. I'm interested in that.
And then you trade Marsh or Rojas, and you get either relief pitching or starting pitcher. And let me know what you guys think. I'll take it up the air.
I got to tell you, Victor, appreciate you. Why are you trading for a guy who plays half a season? Mike Trout 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I'm totally in. I'm not in now. No.
He had 40 and 80 2 years ago. So,
in half, I mean.
Well, it's 40 and 80.
I got you. I can't have a guy, Bob, who plays half a season.
Well, you can't predict that. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt there has been a recent injury history with him. And, yeah, you'd have to take a good, hard look at all those injuries and where he is and what he's thinking. I don't know. I'll take a Mike Trout in left field.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care about money. I don't care about that. So I'll take a Mike Trout in left field.
But Pat, are you in?
I'll take him depending on the price. And I'm on record
as long
saying
as
I don't think the price would be nearly as much as people do think. You got to figure there's a finite amount of teams that are going to be able to take on that contract. So right off the bat, there's probably like 7-8 teams. Out of those 7-8 teams, how many are even interested in terms of like acquiring that, already have a center fielder, so things like that. How many of them have an opening? How many of them have the depth in the farm system to make a move? Because of all of that, I really don't think it probably costs nearly as much as you might think. You still have to give up a top prospect or two, but I don't think it'd be like this war chest of prospects that you'd probably assume it would be for a guy of his caliber.
79 games average, 3-year average. Playing in 70, not even playing half the games. I can't do it. I'm not going to do that. And Rangers, like, you're going to have to give up something good. Something will be given up, whether it's a prospect or not. And, Pat, as you say, these guys always tend to go for less than we think.
Yeah, when Juan Soto went, I was blown away at how little that was.
Like
I thought that was going to be a ton.
And do you think it's because of the money? It's all because of the money, right? I mean, it just prices people out, I guess, a little bit.
It might be because there wasn't a deal in place. I don't know.
Here's the direct quote from Dave Dombrowski, by the way, on the position. He says, I'm not going to anoint, talking about Rojas, a position with our big league club next year. He has to be able to contribute some offensively, or else then he has to go down and continue to develop. That doesn't mean we don't love him. We think he's a really good player. But we do need more offense than that out of that position. So that's what Dave Dombrowski's direct quote is on Rojas. And again, it's fine. I would say you're there. It's very weird that a guy who can hit in the regular season and show you exactly what you're getting out of, you're not getting the power and everything out of a Schwarber, but approach at the plate and everything. There's a lot of guys who need that Dave Dombrowski's got to be looking at. And he seems to have a thing for Castellanos, and it's not a good thing. That's why I'm wondering if he may be a guy that would be moved, that he just is like, maybe if there was a guy who was going to be potentially moved, and that frees up money, too, if you did move.
Yeah, it does. You got to be careful. You're losing a Rhys Hoskins, like we said. All right, 25 and 80.
Yes.
Those are good numbers at first base. Yes, you're replacing it with Harper, but then, all right, go to right field. You're taking out Castellanos, who was 25 and 100 and 35 doubles.
It's a lot to replace.
Yeah, so casually getting rid of guys like that on a lineup that was so powerful. And if you're going to go with the Rojas, you got to have those bats. I like the lineup that had Marsh and Rojas hitting 8 and 9. Like, that's not a big deal if you have bashers everywhere else in the lineup. It's just careful disregarding, all right, we're getting rid of 25 and 80 here, 25 and 100 there, or this, that, and the other. Okay, does this bashing lineup all of a sudden just become they're good defensively and they have some good hitters?
And Trout in half a season last year had 18 and 44. So he would have been on pace for 36 and 88.
Yeah.
The year before, 40-80 in 119 games, which is nice. In the year before, 36 games, 8 and 18. It's that there's no way I can't take Nick Castellanos out of the lineup and say, I can guarantee you Mike Trout's going to give me the same production. Just because Nick Castellanos is there day after day after day. And it's one of the reasons why I think it's very, very arrogant with people with Aaron Nola, is that the idea of just, they can replace Aaron Nola, is the guy to have one starter, because it's not Wheeler. Wheeler doesn't do it. Suarez doesn't do it. None of that takes the mound 32 times a year, every year, pencil him in. He's there. I think it's arrogant with people being like, oh, yeah, you can replace Nola.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. You and I were talking about this before the show started. If they're looking at guys, whether it be Gray or whoever it may be, Snell, you can't just lump it in with he's the replacement for Aaron Nola, I don't think. If you're going to build a starting rotation, okay, and Aaron Nola's not there, you can't afford him or you don't want to pay whatever it is, you got to build a good starting rotation. It's not that I'm looking for Aaron Nola's replacement. I'm looking for maybe two really good arms that I can throw in there, and whoever the two may be, that's how it plays out.
You want a lefty?
I always like lefties.
Pat, you want
like a lefty?
If Nola's gone, so you don't care. You just want the quality pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying I have to have a lefty. I'm saying,
but some people are like very much saying they need a lefty. They got to go get another lefty.
No, I don't.
The lefty sucks. Who cares?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Sonny Gray, though, he did have a very good year last year.
He's hit or miss for me. No, I have no interest.
Blake Snell?
No.
We talked about this yesterday.
For me, it's Yamamoto or the trade market.
Do you think are they being talked about truly as one of the big leaders?
No,
Yamamoto.
I mean it's early in the process, but it's an area they've never dipped into. They've never been involved in any of these Japanese pitchers who have been posted.
I think that you have to have
it's a pipe dream because of that. I think
you have to have a relationship with the scouts, with the people from that part of the region.
Certainly helps.
I don't really think so. No. You look at the Mets got Senga last year. The Angels getting Ohtani when they did. Some of these teams have never really gone down that road. Yeah, I mean, basically, it's really just been the one team that consistently tries to do it is Seattle, and proximity to Japan definitely helps with that area. But at the end of the day, it's all about money. I mean,
what is it? Just that it's 6 hours closer?
Yeah, I think it's about that. Yeah, but
the culture in that community, there is a large contingent in that community too.
But Daisuke years ago going to Boston, they didn't really dip into that market before that either, and money talks. So if you want to pay the posting fee, they'll go to Siberia if the posting fee is high enough.
I still go back to Pat, and you ranted about it over and over again, and you were absolutely right. Watching the video of Andrew Painter lifting weights, but there's a chance he could pitch in September for the Phillies.
Yeah,
I'm so
hold my breath on that.
What a wasted decision that was.
Yeah, that's for little black marks not being around the Phillies all that much over the last 2 years because of what they've accomplished. That's a big one.
It really is. It's disappointing.
No, we'll shut him down for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden he'll be able to throw 95 again.
And we'll keep doing it over and over again.
It's so short-sighted.
All right, now what is not short-sighted? Bob's got an interesting column for you, and it really cross-pollinates between a couple of our franchises here in this town. We'll get to that next, plus more on the Sixers and the Eagles. John Kincade Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. I love the BetParks app, and I love the fact that on a college football weekend, I have the opportunity to be able to place a wager anytime I want. John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. That all-new Bet Parks app will keep you warm and fuzzy in the winter. And it's going to be, and now, by the way, Bob, Chris Sauer's changing his tune. I'll talk about that. The Sportsbook and Casino in one sleek, easy-to-use app in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Love Chris Sauers, rising star in the weather industry here in town.
South Jersey, and I believe.
He has now changed his tune, though.
What's he singing now?
He put a tweet out yesterday. He said, here's my snow shovel, and it's in the garage, and you're going to need it this winter.
Uh-oh.
Changed the tune, because before he was like, nah, I don't see it. Don't see snow this winter. And I was like, I feel we're going to get, I think it's going to be one of those winters where we get bang, bang, bang. Like,
I'll believe it when I see it.
5 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches, and like where it's just one of those ones where you get the brown snow.
No, a real bang has to be double digits. Has to be 10 inches.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but if you get a bunch of them back to back to back, it sucks.
I can deal with the little 4 and 5s but yeah, a 10-incher, that's a bang.
Oh, a 10-incher will bang you
Wait
up.
a minute, do you have that, Pat? Please keep that. Could you keep that, please?
We got it.
I know this is that Bob can take a Sixers topic and broaden it out. His writing skills, amazing. And that's why we have Cooney's column.
Let's turn the page and find out what's in Cooney's column.
All right, forgive me in advance because I forgot my contacts again today, so I'm having trouble reading my own stuff. But
you couldn't even edit your.
It was your contacts that you forgot.
I brought my wrong case.
Okay.
So, all right. Is there a better way to start a sports week than by having the hated rival come in to our crazed city? Fans bursting with anticipation to see exactly where their team might really be for the season. Wait, are we talking about Eagles-Cowboys, who met in a gridlocked South Philly on a beautiful late Sunday afternoon? Or Sixers-Celtics, adding yet another contest to the most by two teams ever played in NBA history? Yes, to both. And the similarities in the games were both wonderfully gratifying and familiarly frustrating at the same time. Welcome to another winter season of Philadelphia sports, everyone. The Eagles and Cowboys, just the words elicit barrel full of emotions, and yes, even hate. Hate for the star on the helmet, for former players and coaches, for a team that wears home white uniforms. Who does that anymore? For a fan base that seems nowhere to be found here in the city until they beat the Eagles in a regular season game, because you know they don't make it far in the playoffs. And nothing brings out the sports anxiety in me, and maybe others, more than the Celtics green, with that stupid mascot prancing around their home games, with continuous hate-the-face players that they seem to pick up, annoying good fundamental play, and abundant playoff success against the Sixers. So many comparisons. And these past two games mirrored each other in so many ways. The Eagles took a somewhat comfortable lead into the fourth quarter early Sunday evening, only to watch Dallas hold on to the ball for almost all of the 15 minutes in that fourth quarter, garner 14 first downs to none for the Eagles, and come up short on a final play that had their star player, CeeDee Lamb, who hauled in 191 yards worth of passes, tackled short of the goal line. Eagles 28, Cowboys 23. Sound familiar? The Sixers led Boston by 15 with just under 3 minutes remaining, only to watch the Celtics score 13 of the game's next 15 points. Their star player, Kristaps Porzingis, who totaled 29 points, missed an open three-pointer at the end that could have tied the game. Sixers 106, Celtics 103. The gamut of emotions enough to fill a season full for most sports cities, but not here. Nah, just two great wins in the span of 4 days. We made it through. Nothing better than a heated rivalry, right? Well, except winning them both.
I love it.
Isn't it crazy how similar those two games were? Eagles, Cowboys, Sixers, Celtics.
Very similar game.
Unbelievable.
It was not, it was like last night was the first night that I was going, man, this team is shooting terribly tonight. And part of that is do we credit Boston for them shooting poorly, or do we say that the Sixers shot poorly?
Both. Yeah, I think when two good teams play each other, that's what it's all about, that you try to make the other team not look as good as they are. Boston is fundamentally smart, and you just go to Boston, no matter what type of player or where you've been, you're going to get fundamentally better. It's a big part of their organization. And they have a thought of how to defend Joel Embiid. Last night it was Drew Holiday. Before it's been Marcus Smart. They like to put smaller guys to play finesse defense against a finesse big man, and it works well at times. The difference is this year, the Sixers have some talented wing players, it looks like, that might be able to overcome that.
Did they get a good return in this Harden deal? If you take the draft picks out of it,
yeah,
because we like the draft picks.
And you look at the players, and at first you're like, yeah, they're just going to trade those players and some of the draft picks and pick up a star. Now you're saying, wait, does Nick Batum fit here? Is he like what you wanted out of Al Horford when you teamed him with Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, we haven't even seen Marcus Morris yet. I don't know what's in the tank still there. But Kelly Oubre, wow, look at what you got there as far as a nice signing in the offseason.
Why was he available when he was?
I just think there's things. Sixers have had Pat, who was the guy during the process? Oh my God, he had the best nickname and he was an outside shooter.
Tony Roden?
No. Dressed real. Had the big smile. Oh my God, I always forget his name, and you always bail me out on this.
Hollis Thomas?
No. He
Hollis
had a great
Thomas?
nickname. Long range shooter. Did the?
Give me what college?
Yeah, right. Well, if I remember, I don't know.
If you remember that, he'd be able to figure it out.
The Sixers seem to pick up some wild cards at times that when they come here, they seem to be a little bit better. He wore number 1, I believe, Pat.
Michael Carter Williams.
No.
He wore number 1.
But
do you remember anything else about him? Where he came from? Where he went?
He doesn't
I'll
remember
figure it
his
out.
contacts, Pat.
Yeah.
How's he going to remember that?
He forgets everything. Something every day.
But yeah, now are some of these guys that you got worth filling in or plugging in? Is it all of a sudden, wow, Nick Batum might be a guy that you throw out on a wing that can play you some defense, make the right passes, and occasionally hit a three-pointer. It's interesting to see. Did you see his finger last night?
Yes.
That was pretty nasty.
Yeah, that looks nasty.
Did I send it to you guys? I know I sent it out on one group text. The
No,
picture
I didn't
of it.
see it.
I mean,
I saw it, but I didn't see you
It literally looked like a heartbeat on a radar thing, the way it was up and down and up and down.
I thought Baldy would have been a little his fingers would have gotten upset about that. Looking at that. Oh man, not fun. But that is a guy who is they found pieces, and I saw where I was reading one of the
Nick Young, Swaggy P.
Swaggy P, there you go.
My bad.
One of the of the national insiders from the NBA Today talking about the fact that Nick Nurse was kept abreast of everything that was going on with the Harden situation, but really supposedly kept his distance. But was asked about players that could possibly fit, that he could possibly use. So Nick Nurse didn't get he wasn't ignored at all in this process. He was like, hey, okay, if we're gonna make it, could you use this guy? Is this guy okay? That he supposedly had some input on that. As far as I could find a way to use him. I think it could work.
Yeah, I think that's the role of a coach. You give me who you give me, and I'll try to make it work. If you want to come to me and say, hey, we can either give you a long wing who can play some D or a backup point guard who may be able to get you minutes there, which do you prefer? Because they're both on the table. Yeah, then he gets his input there. Nick Nurse seems to me the kind of guy give me a team and I'll coach them. And I like that.
I'm stealing this, Pat, from the Malika Andrews show. They had a poll. I guess writers had talked in a bunch of different markets, the ESPN writers and everything. Players in the NBA do not even understand this in-season tournament. And honestly, it is, to me, I don't think it's that hard to understand.
Did you guys see the Denver story?
No.
They messed up the three-point line on the court.
No, they didn't.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I forget one of the players noticed it, but one of the players was like, this ain't right. And they figured out, it's not right. Now, every team has that new court, and it does look pretty cool. But, yeah, I guess in Denver they didn't quite get the measuring tape out.
So what did they...
I have no idea what they're doing.
I guess they'll just use their regular floor.
I guess they're going to have to.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
But Pat's a forward thinker. Pat's a believer that, look, you can take something. I don't think this is, everyone's saying that it's so hard to understand. I don't find it in the least bit hard to understand. I think I went and read it. I looked at it on the graph. I don't think it's hard to understand.
You know why it's hard for me to understand? Because I didn't read it. I didn't look at it. I don't give a flying crap about an in-season. And I saw a commercial last night with Michael Imperioli. Here it is. And they had some NBA players involved, and they're carting in the trophy. I mean, I looked at it and started chuckling. In my mind, I'm saying to myself, I wonder if there's an NBA player at home right now watching this commercial and saying,
what the hell's going on?
What is this about? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I have no.
Well, if you honestly, Bob, if anybody with a brain took 2 minutes to just read what it is and how it works and who ends up in Vegas to play off in the 2-night tournament, it's not hard to understand.
Yeah,
but NBA players seem to be rejecting it. They seem to be like, just tell me when I got to play. Just tell me who are we playing.
Surprising.
It doesn't seem like there's any interest.
I think fans are doing the same thing.
But the thing is, Pat, you think you could fix it as far as to create interest, to create more of a desire, and maybe some of those NBA players would find a way to be a part of it.
Yeah, some people would say this is my point of view.
Could be.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
I think the in-season tournament might be the stupidest thing in the world. I mean, in all honesty, I think that this is a little pet project from Adam Silver, and he is forcing this upon the NBA players, the fans, the media. I don't know one person who actually thinks this is good in terms of not good because it's basketball, but not one person thinks this is necessary. Whether you talk to people in the NBA, whether you talk to fans, whether you talk to media members, this is completely pointless. And especially to have it this early in the season is ridiculous. But, all right, one thing is true, and this is Adam Silver's baby. So it's going to continue. If he's there, there's no way after 1 year he goes, all right, it didn't work. No. He's going to force this thing upon us, just like he forced Jerry Colangelo on Sixers fans. So Tyrese Halliburton had an idea for making this an incentive that maybe people would get up for. Because right now, and I remember hearing an interview with Adam Silver in the offseason about the incentive was, money. Yeah, money is a great incentive, obviously. We don't get on that pole for free, gentlemen. We twerk for cash. But there still should be, me as a fan, I don't get pumped about an in-season tournament knowing that the players that just won get an extra $500K, whatever it is, right? So Tyrese Halliburton's idea should be an automatic playoff bid. He said, I think the greatest incentive for everybody to do it would be an automatic playoff bid. If it was a playoff spot, I think everybody would take it very, very serious, right?
Okay, I would think so.
He said, I think older teams would take it the most serious. And he's probably right in the sense of the older teams taking this playoff format seriously. Yeah, okay. Does a James Harden's a good example of that, right? An aging player, 35 years old. Is he getting pumped to go out to Vegas? Well, the answer to that is yes. But is he getting pumped to then have to play a game? The answer to that one is no.
He just wants the strip club.
If it's an automatic playoff spot, sure. My problem with that line of thinking from Tyrese Halliburton is the team that's winning it is probably already a playoff team.
No, quite. I'll bet you all 4 teams in the Final Four are. You're
exactly.
Right,
so that to me is it's you can put that in there, but that's nothing to me. So my idea was to have the winner of the in-season tournament get an automatic lottery pick that has the lowest odds.
So you'd be the 14th team or whatever. 15th.
Yeah, it's an extra pick.
Whatever it is. Extra
so in the first round, instead of 30 teams, you get 31. You get 31 picks. And you just back it up. You have your own pick, obviously. So let's say hypothetically the Sixers. Sixers finish 26th, right? And they get the 26th overall pick. But they won the in-season tournament. So they get the 14th overall pick.
That's not bad.
You get an extra pick. You get more incentive. It helps you improve your team. You can use that pick because the tournament will be over by the trade deadline. You can use that pick to trade it if you want to. I think that's a much bigger incentive. I think the players would get into it too. I think the front offices especially would put onus on the players to try to win this thing, to give them a little bit of a war chest to go out there and address things at the deadline. I think a draft pick, and once again, it's the lowest odds. You're not giving these top 3 odds. You're giving.
I think it's 15th, so it'll be the 15th pick in the draft.
Yeah, whatever.
I like it. But I like this idea.
But we've seen teams before bump up. The Cavaliers, when they got Anthony Bennett, their odds of winning the tournament or the lottery that year was 1.7, I think. So we've seen teams go pretty far and end up bumping up. But it's, as a Sixers fan, I go, okay, they're going to make the playoffs. And my worst fear is they win the in-season tournament and then it's a joke. Oh, you can win the in-season tournament. Are we going to roll a banner for that? You're not going to get out of the second round. But if you win the in-season tournament, you get a lottery pick. You can use that lottery pick along with the picks you got from James Harden to go out there and get another star. That to me is okay, now I'm invested in it. As a fan, I'm more interested in the in-season tournament than I ever was.
I got to tell you,
as a fan, that's good. As a front office, it's really good. My only question, and I love that you thought this out, is a Patrick Beverly, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, are they caring much about a draft pick?
I think Joel Embiid, yes. Tobias,
okay.
Those two guys you mentioned are on one-year deals.
To go shopping. Like so Daryl Morey has more in the holster.
Well, I mean, and for them,
and it would be the 15th
all comes down
pick,
to money.
Yeah, for them, the incentive the incentive there still for them is money. You know, so for them, yeah, it probably would. Like for a Patrick Beverly, who's in the twilight of his career and is probably got 1 and 2 years left, yeah, I would say money is good. Like he's going to play hard no matter what.
Right.
Tobias Harris, I get you. He's on a 1-year deal. 1 year left. He's going to make money no matter what, where he goes. He'll be okay. But like to Joel Embiid, a Tyrese Maxey, yeah, I'd care about that.
Yeah, that's
because
a good
the way
point.
I'd be looking at it was not necessarily, oh, well, they get a draft pick that they can use to draft my replacement. I'm looking at it like, crap, like we can get a piece that we can use to get some reinforcements in here to help us win a championship.
He's smarter than he looks, Bob. He really is. He's smart. Pat, I think this is better than the commissioner came up with.
Well, send it to Silver.
This is great.
Is it a bigger issue of players not being motivated for these games than we're making it?
I don't think that the players are going to be unmotivated when they get to Vegas and there's a full house and it's rocking.
I don't think they're ever unmotivated. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking here. You throw 82 games on a schedule. All right, I'm going to try to show up and play as best I can for 82 games. That's the simplicity of it. This is a tournament. Why does the floor look different? Oh, because it's tournament. Am I going to play different, harder, better, worse, whatever, because it's a tournament game is what I'm saying. I think, Pat, you hit it on the head. I think it's all just going to play out that the best team wins no matter what the goal is, whatever the winnings are, whatever. I just think like the best team at that time is going to win. I don't think it's motivation. I don't think guys are going to give up on it. I just don't understand the whole thinking of why do you have it anyway? What's it for?
Money making, and they want to expand. This is a money making event. I mean, they're going to make good money off of this. And I promise
the
you,
the NBA is going to make good money.
Right. No, they're trying to expand revenues. NFL's always trying to expand revenues. That's why they're playing in Germany.
No, I know that.
Well, that's why they're doing it. It's greed. But I will tell you this right now.
It's just hilarious because the ratings are going to be fine and NBA.
It'll be normal.
Look, yeah, exactly. But that's the thing.
I think they're going to be bigger than normal.
Why?
I think people are going to be intrigued by the game Friday. Excuse me. You'll hear it here on the Fanatic tomorrow. That is the first game of the in-season tournament for them. Then Tuesday, they have the in-season tournament versus the Pacers. So the Tuesday game is the game it's the second one versus the Pacers that counts for the in-season tournament. And then at Atlanta on November 17th. That is in-season tournament. And then at Cleveland versus Cleveland here on Tuesday the 21st.
So my whole thinking on this of why I'm not like all that over excited about it. Okay, say Phoenix and Milwaukee are playing in the finals of the in-season tournament. Are you looking at that more than you would just look at a Phoenix-Milwaukee regular season game?
I would ask you, do you when the Eagles play the 49ers, will there be more eyeballs on that game saying that could be the NFC Championship game?
Well,
Eagles,
but you don't play everybody in the NFL like you do in the NBA.
No,
in the NBA, Phoenix and Milwaukee are going to hook up during the regular season anyway. Every team plays every team. How is it way much more than just a regular season game?
Because they're making it a showcase. They're making it
what's different? That the floor looks different?
No.
To me, it's an NBA game.
It's in Vegas, dude.
That doesn't bother me one way or the
They're
other.
going to show the Sphere. They're going to have a cool hype video, man.
I got to tell you, we got to get out to the Sphere.
Oh, we're going to.
Yeah, we got to
in
get
February.
To the
we're going
in
to
February.
By the way, the show in the Sphere, that's not the music one with the U2 show.
Oh, you're talking about Blue Man Group?
No,
they're
awesome.
They
just have they have a show that takes you through. It's an audio visual. Just
it's three blue guys.
Blows your mind. Everybody that I know that has seen it has just gone. It's jaw dropping.
The three guys that play the pipes?
No, they don't do that. This is totally different. You feel like they can make you feel that you're underwater.
Oh, the Thunder from Down Under.
It's wild, all the things that they can do.
Thunder from Down Under, Pat. We're gonna do that the Saturday before the Super Bowl.
You know,
tickets are already bought.
I almost to get back to the in-season tournament thing.
Oh, wait, you don't want to break down Thunder from Down Under?
I almost wish they would implement a different kind of rule than regular season games. I don't know, a 4-point line.
That'd be cool.
A running, something. Just something different that makes it, to me, different from a regular NBA game, because that's what I'm looking at.
They can't because it's a regular season
Because it's a regular season game.
This is how ass backwards nonsensical this is.
Right.
It's so not necessary.
Now, look, I very well may be jaded because of, my time and seeing live thousands of NBA games. Maybe I'm jaded that way. But, just to say to me, no. This is for the in-season tournament championship. I'm still going, okay, it's Phoenix, Milwaukee.
I got to tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Okay,
and
cool. That's good.
And I did not know. I knew a little bit about Pat's proposal. I was thinking, Pat, that proposal literally blows away what the NBA is doing. So I love that. The minimum 15th pick in the draft, that's worth something. Like that is a motivation to a franchise.
You don't think Daryl Morey wants the minimum 15th pick in the draft?
And the one thing I would say is, though, there is one thing you said, Bob, that I want to bring back. So I don't want to talk about it right now. You made a comment during the thing that is this. You think NBA players are not motivated?
No,
I've seen
extra motivated for something like this.
Because I've seen many NBA nights where teams look completely not motivated. I got to think this might help a little bit. Hey, Andrew wants to talk about it. We'll get to you coming up. It is the John Kincade Show here on 97.5, The Fanatic. David Kelleher was here yesterday.
7-5, The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Game time comes your way at 8:30. It is a Thursday morning on the John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. My day is sort of whacked out because of having the one day off where I just pretty much slept and just relaxed all day. So my days are a little off, but tomorrow's Friday.
That is correct.
It's not an Eagles, not an Eagles Friday, though. It'll still be a football Friday, but not an Eagles Friday. A little bit missing in that your chance to win a trip to spring training comes your way at 8 o'clock. You got like 7 minutes for that, so you want to stick around for that. In fact, Gunner, after we get done with these callers, let's lock down the phones so people aren't calling and getting any kind of unfair advantage. Or you can lock down the contest lines. Make sure no one's getting any unfair advantage set up, if you would. I appreciate that Andrew held on talking about this NBA in-season tournament, and I think Pat Egan could be deputy commissioner on this. Andrew, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, good morning, guys. Love the show.
Thank you, buddy.
Guys every morning, first-time caller. So I had a comment about the in-season tournament. Want to get your guys' opinion on it. What about if the winner of the in-season tournament, if they make the playoffs, they get home court advantage throughout the playoffs? I think that'll be, kind of get the players a little more involved, get the teams more involved. One of the lower level seeds, either in the East or the West.
That makes the regular season. That makes the regular season irrelevant then.
Yeah,
because somebody could get hot for a short little time, and then the 82 games meant nothing. The best team over 82 games that won like 62 doesn't get the home court.
Yeah, I mean, I think one
that's
of the
too
lower level
drastic
teams,
for me.
No, I think I'll give the lower level teams a little more fight, make it a little more exciting, and the best team usually always prevails, but just get a little home court advantage. I just thought that would be a good little wrinkle to get the fans into it.
Yeah.
Bobby,
I was thinking if there was something you could do with playoffs on that, Andrew, along like you, but I can't reward you that much. I can't say to a team that went, 60-22 during a regular season, that a team like John said maybe won a couple games here and there, and then all of a sudden the Atlanta Hawks win you an in-season tournament, and they're going to get the home court advantage throughout the whole playoffs.
That's
too much for a too small amount of time.
But Pat's the commissioner of this. I mean, seriously,
yeah.
I think he should be made deputy commissioner on this. I think it works.
Does that come with benefits?
I think. Oh yeah, full benefit.
401k.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm down.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And the NBA match, and I think the NBA match is 8%.
Whoa.
There you go, Pat.
They do.
Brendan Gunn, you better get in here to press the buttons, bud, because I have a new gig.
That's if you deputy commissioner. You and Adam Silver. Can you imagine Pat?
I cannot.
Pat, he's a great dude.
Here's the thing, like I think you're right. Like I think he is. I think he's probably the most liked, down to earth of the commissioners.
He loves his game.
I think out of all the commissioners, you're probably most likely to get along, and his approval rating is probably the highest amongst the commissioners. I, as a Sixers fan, cannot get over the Jerry Colangelo forcing your way onto the franchise, and I think it put the franchise back, and then this in-season tournament thing. So I look at it skewed. I think if I was a Charlotte Hornets fan, I'd agree, and I'm sure if I met the guy, I'd get along with him after I gave him crap about the whole Jerry Colangelo thing. But I out of all of them, I mean, if you give me true serum, I like him probably the best.
Let's see what Isaiah in West Philly has to say. Isaiah, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Great to hear from you, buddy.
I want to talk about how Nick Nurse has definitely changed how the Sixers look this year, and it just looks so refreshing from years past.
That's what we talked about, Isaiah. It's an earlier discussion you get in on. It's one there. Do you think it's the subtraction of having different guys that he's using, or is it his approach that is intriguing you so much?
I think it's a mix of both because, like you see, like if Harden was on the team, the ball wouldn't be moving like how it is, and then he's got Maxey playing defense at an elite level. Something you could only dream of something like that happening last year.
Yeah, I like it, Isaiah. I appreciate it.
Isaiah brings up a good point about the defense, which we haven't talked about an awful lot. They are very active defensively. And it's pretty cool to see. And I think Embiid is more engaged in trying to block shots. And he's more engaged in positioning his body to deter shots or to at least alter shots. On your wing players, you have guys that are running out and switching well and doing different things better than I've seen, before. It's still way early. Yeah, there's no question about it. But right now, it does seem fun. It seems like a fun style of basketball on both ends of the floor. And I think the players have bought into what Nick Nurse said the other day was, we want our defense to create offense. Our defense will help our offense tremendously.
There were a lot of blocks
getting
last
turnovers
night.
And stuff like that. Yeah, it's a good way. It's a good way to go about it.
Not to give Haley something to work with, but the hands are constantly active.
Yeah,
I mean, this team has hands up. They're trying to block passing lanes. They're doing stuff. They're constantly. They look like it looks more. God, I don't want to say collegiate, but it does like more. The energy looks more collegiate to me.
Yeah, it's there's a drill we used to run when I was younger and stuff like that you would tell kids, all right, you're playing half court defense, go get the ball, Like I don't want 5 guys running after a basketball, but get the ball away from the offensive team. Don't let them score, obviously, but get the ball. And it puts like an extra pep of, all right, I got anticipation of looking to get your hands in passing lanes as the ball trip. Think of this. Joel Embiid, when he dribbles a basketball, John, if I'm dribbling a basketball on a basketball court, it probably comes up about 2 feet, right? Because I'm low and I got it here and that's all. So my ability as a defender to try to swipe it away is only that 2-foot margin. When Joel Embiid gets a basketball, it has to go from A to B, and that's probably about a 4-foot margin. Look how long the ball is in the air from the ground to the air till it hits his hand again. That's why Boston does a pretty neat thing with Marcus Smart before, now with Drew Holiday. Those are guys that can get hands on a ball when it's hitting ground, getting up to his hand,
and come from behind and do it.
Exactly. So it's a really fun thing. The way they do it, and it looks like the Sixers are trying to implement that also.
All right, it is 8:00 in the morning on the John Kincade Show, and we would like you to have an opportunity to head to spring training.
97.5 The Fanatic. Win a free trip or 2 to spring training 2024.
All right, the 15th caller. Right now, Gunner's going to release the lines. And if you're the 15th caller at 215-263-0975, you're going to win a $25 Rally House gift card. And you're also going to be entered to win a trip for 2 to spring training 2024. It's all sponsored by Rally House. It's your city. It's your house. Get into Rally House. PhillySportsTrips.com. You can travel with the pros. They do an absolutely amazing job. And, of course, here at the Fanatic. If you are not today's qualifier, if you're not, you have another chance at noon with Andrew, and you have a chance at 4 when you're hanging out with the best show ever this afternoon. So you want to go to spring training if you've never experienced it. And, Bob, of all the experiences you've had in your career in media, like I did spring training 21 seasons. I think it's a religious experience because of winter.
Yeah.
Because of the getting down. You guys, I remember you guys on Tampa Bay Week. You guys did such a great job down there bringing the flavor of what it was like down there and the fan reaction and the energy but the weather was part of it too. Everybody being out and having a great time in the weather. When you get that in March, it just hits differently. It really does.
Yeah, I was always tied up with March Madness, regional final, Final Fours, and then the NBA and all that. So I've just never had a chance. We were down in Florida one time as a family in Disney, and I remember the guy who was covering
right there.
Yeah, but the Phillies were kind of traveling within an hour of where we were, and the beat writer at the time asked me to come over, and I was going to, but I was with my family, and I didn't want to go over by myself.
Good family, man. Good family. Uh-huh. That's a great stadium too. Now they just have A-ball in it.
Yeah.
But the Braves were there forever, but it was outdated. I mean, I love going to Clearwater's awesome. There's so many beautiful venues. Pat, have you done spring training ever?
Yeah, I did it once.
What'd you think?
It was 35 degrees in Philly, so I loved it.
See, is that part?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big part.
It is, and you're right. It hits different when you are leaving a cold place to a warm place, because at that point, look, the baseball is secondary, third area, fourth area, whatever you want to call it.
Are those words? I don't know.
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
I butchered the English language, but you don't really care about the baseball necessarily. It's more of the mindset we are ushering in better weather.
Yes.
And you know that, back home it's crappy. But where I'm at right now, it's going to be like that very shortly when I do get back home.
We're going to feel like that in Vegas.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, look, if they lose a meaningless spring training game against the Orioles, like, how much are you really paying attention, right? You're in shorts and flip flops and t-shirt, and your buddies up in Philly are shoveling snow.
Hey, as we begin the 8 o'clock hour, I was asked by a listener on DM yesterday, why don't I hold Nick Sirianni responsible for some of the struggles of the team? And we're not saying that 8-1 isn't great, but there are things that are a struggle bus for this team. And he asked me, why do you don't hold Nick Sirianni responsible, and you seem to put it all on the coordinators? So I will ask you, Bob, because I can't answer the question because I don't know how it's perceived. Do you believe I put it all on the coordinators? I do believe I put a majority.
All is one of those words, you know me.
Yeah.
All and never.
I put a majority,
always,
though.
That always turns me off when those are. Do you put it all on the coordinators? No, I would say majority, yes. When it comes to the problems, it's either, one name or the other comes out of your mouth, and it's not Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni oversees everything. That's what a head coach is. So, to the DM or whoever it was.
Is it Sirianni?
Yeah, anything. If you want to blame anything on the defensive or offensive coordinator or call them into question, what you're doing without doing so is calling the head coach into question. They have to answer to him. Any move that they make should be answered by him, should be approved by him, should be overseen. You come up with a game plan all week. That's what you do. You have your game plan. You present it to your offensive and defensive coordinators. You work on it together. You know what you want to do, at what times and when, how to cover, how not to cover, what you want to do. All of that has to be overseen by Nick Sirianni. So if I'm saying something against the coordinators or you're saying something against the coordinators, it's under the umbrella of Nick Sirianni, no question about it.
The one thing is in Nick Sirianni's first season, when he had a roster that was maybe half this talented, he was 2-5. He made changes, and things changed around. Now, when you're 8-1, you're not talking about making changes. But I do want to see change. I do want to see change. I want to see change in how they play. I want the offense to look smooth again. I want I don't want it doesn't have to be as smooth as silk as last year. But I want to see one of these games. And by the way, the people who say you don't want to be playing your best ball in September and October, go back and look at the 2022 team. Go look at the 2017 team. Go look at the 2004 team. You know what they were doing? They were playing great football in September and October. So I'm tired of that. Well, just don't worry about it because they don't want to be playing your best ball at that time. When in Eagles history, we already know that the teams that made the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl were playing great football by this time. Great football. Clean, blowouts, dominant football. And it's changed.
You can ask any coach. You want to play your best football all 17 games and then in the playoffs. That's not a question. It's not going to happen. You're not going to play your best football every week. It's just not. It's not a reality. That's what you shoot for. You always shoot for perfection in your sport, but you're not going to obtain it. When would you love to hit you're playing your best football, basketball, baseball, hockey? Sure. End of the season, going into the playoffs. It doesn't mean you are downplaying the first 10, 12 games of the season. Not at all. You're looking to play your best all the time. The reality is it's not going to happen. And as I asked Shefty the other day, can you control as a coach when you're playing your best football, basketball, baseball this season? He said no. Well, because if you could, you would do it every year.
The reality, though, of the situation is when the Eagles have had teams that have gone to the Super Bowl or won it, they were playing great ball by this time. Clean, dominant football. Every one of those years. They were blowing teams out, great point differential, much, much cleaner football. And it concerns me a little bit about that because this doesn't resemble that. Mike in Delran knows a lot about this. Michael, good morning.
What's up, guys? Good morning. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, well, the answer to me is pretty simple. I mean, there's only really two big differences from last season and this season, and one of them is the schedule's harder, but the other one is we have new coordinators. What are you going to put on a guy that's doing the same thing he's been doing since he started? You don't put that on Nick Sirianni. Your first thing you're going to go to is what's new, and it's the coordinators.
Right.
You don't like some of the things you see. So that whoever asked you that question, an idiot.
Well, he thinks I criticize the coordinators too much.
Well, you criticize them just as much as they deserve. So I mean,
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
So, anyways, the Sixers, guys, I wasn't feeling the beginning of the season. I think, Bob, we even talked about it at Maggie's. I just wasn't into it. The whole James Harden thing and everything had me soured. But this is the first time that I can remember in a long time where the beginning of the season, it's just basketball. Like this team has the focus on nothing else but just playing basketball. And it is fun to watch, and I've come around since
I love that. I love what you just said there, though.
Think about it. Every offseason has come into the season starts
Simmons,
with some question.
Harden,
or Doc sucks, Harden sucks, right. Fultz sucks, whatever it is. Ben Simmons sucks. But this season, what's different is it's just a bunch of guys playing basketball, and what matters most is they look like they're having fun doing it. So it's fun and exciting. Got it.
There you go. Thank you, Michael. I love that answer. I really do, because that is part of it. Maybe that's part of the enjoyment. We're not coming in every day talking about Harden holding out and Simmons nonsense and injuries and.
Oh God, yeah. It's funny. The question that you asked at the beginning of the show, is it more addition by subtraction than it is Nick Nurse? I think the subtraction for these players, and this is just an outsider looking in. I've seen, disturbances before on teams. I think once it's taken away, it's forgotten about.
So you think they just immediately they're able to be like dogs?
All right, here we are. Equate it to a business world. You can't stew in it as much as it bothers you. Moves that are made or whatever it may be, it sucks. But it can't hinder your performance, because what does that do? That brings you down. That brings the rest of the things down. We've all been through it. We've been through it here. People that are listening right now have
I didn't even realize that. Have we?
But I do think with athletes, it's okay. He's gone. Next up. Now Mike makes a great point. It's fun.
Well,
it's not fun when you have clouds hanging over your head. That's not fun.
When you're talking about games too, it's just when it's about the game, when it's about winning games, that's the big deal. Bob, I know that we have a little delivery has arrived.
Yeah, Gino Steaks just delivered. I can't wait. Can't wait to dive into that.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. They are so excited to have another hometown legend at 10th Street Market. The cheesesteak of all cheesesteaks, the world famous Geno's. They join other Philadelphia favorites in the casino, such as Termini Brothers, Lorenzo and Sons Pizza, Sankey Noodle Bar and Kitchen, turning 10th Street Market into the ultimate destination for a taste of classic Philadelphia flavor right in the heart of the Stadium District. From Geno's world-famous menu, you know what it is, John. You got cheesesteaks, you got Italian hoagies, a side of cheese fries to complete the meal. Geno's will be open every day at 5 p.m. during the week and open at noon on the weekends until 10 p.m. So go and enjoy the only stop you need to make for taste and famous Philly flavors in South Philadelphia.
Oh, well, I understand that they're in the building. So
I can smell it from here now.
The Vultures will be out. So we have game time coming up at the bottom of the hour. Pat promises you a fantastic experience. But Bob got a text from an NBA executive last night that he wants to share with you, and then find out what your reaction is to it. We'll get to that coming up. John Kincade Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Would you get the BetParks app today? And would you download it? Because you may be somebody who wants to be heavily Game time's 10 minutes away. It's a Thursday morning on the John Kincade Show. Here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And I know there's no Eagles game this weekend. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. What people are going to be, what we're doing. The fine folks at Geno's and Live Casino, congratulations to them. I think that was a winner this morning, Bob, as we
it's still winning, John. It's still winning.
Does Pat have a chance to get off the board for a few minutes and just grab something, or
I would
what?
grab him one if he asked.
I'll grab. Don't worry.
Okay,
Don't worry about me, guys.
I worry about you.
I'm still dealing with like throat issues from yesterday, so
are you?
I might sit this one out today. And it's not out of want.
It's not out of want, right?
It's more of out of that postnasal drip isn't great right now.
Ooh, so you had the inflamed throat?
Yeah, it started popping up on Sunday, and it slowly got worse, and then I woke up the other day, and it was just. I woke up from my nap, from my post-show nap, and it was not great. I had the chills and everything.
Oh, no. I have and I appreciate you keeping me safe yesterday. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I coughed all over Bob, but.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. That's going to help me out a lot then. The one thing I would say is one of the side effects of the chemo is your throat narrows. And right now, every once in a while, I'll take like a big gulp of water, and I'm like, and it immediately you spit it out. Because it's like, what the hell's going on? Till this thing goes away. So I'm looking forward to that big time. 8 days, baby. 8 days. Bob got a text last night from an NBA executive. And I always love it because Bob is a man of integrity. He always will protect people's identity and everything. But what this person had to say, quite interesting.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's corner.
Yeah, so I'm lucky. I have a bunch of guys around the league and stuff like that, or formerly in the league, whatever, that, check in every once in a while. Actually, often. Pretty much every game.
That's awesome.
You're just communicating with people. Hey, did you see that player? What'd you think of this and that and the other? And it's terrific. So a guy hits me up last night. I hit him up first about something not really game-related, but then we started to get into the game a little bit. He said 2 things about players that I don't want to say one surprised me. The other one I think is kind of obvious to all of us watching the Sixers right now. And the one was, I don't think Tobias Harris has ever been happier or played better or is going to play better than he will this year. James Harden brought him down that much.
Oh, okay. So it's not the idea of a contract year.
No, not the idea of that at all. Just the style of play. He said to me, he goes, I don't think there's ever been a better style of play, more suited than what is right now for Tobias Harris. I went back and I said, and he seems to get his points easily. Like Tobias Harris seems to be in a comfort zone to me that I really haven't seen him in before. He can really back that. We forget sometimes he's 6'9".
Well, he's crazy big.
Yeah, backing
because at times
down,
he plays like 5'8".
Yeah, you're right, Pat. There have been times like that. But now he's backing guys down and getting that shoulder in so he can create that separation for the mid-range jumper. I still think he's a really good outside shooter, and he's getting more open three-pointers. So that was one part of the game that we discussed. Another part that we talked about was he says Tyrese Maxey may be as good as Tony Parker and better offensively moving forward. And
moving forward.
Now, look, This is a guy that has been right in the league. This isn't an outsider looking in. This is an insider.
Okay.
He says, he just reminds him of that, the energy, where he can get to, and probably a better scorer than Parker was. So that's the comparison he threw out there to me. I said, that's interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that for a while. You guys know I'm not a okay, so he's going to be a Hall of Famer too, like Tony Parker. No, not that. The last thing he said, I had to send him back a text that said, relax there, cowboy. And that was, he thinks it's excuse me.
Bob's getting choked up. This information is so good. I like this.
Went the wrong.
No, it's when you talk basketball, you get emotional.
Yeah,
and it's one of the reasons why we love you.
Thank you, Pat.
You tear up because it's such a beautiful sport,
He's
and
so excited.
You care about it so much, and
it's amazing.
It's something that me and John see.
We
every
aspire
day,
to, but we can't.
For now, you let it out for the listeners and open up your heart to them. It's admirable.
Thank you. But the last thing he said, this Sixers team could win 60. This isn't a BS guy. I mean, he's funny as hell, but he's not a BS guy when we were talking about that. He said, I honestly think they might be able to win 60. That's when I said, easy there, cowboy. But that's just, it stayed with me after we got done texting. I sat up for a little while longer reading and stuff, and it kept coming back to me. This is a guy that I'm telling. If I told you who it was and gave you his resume,
right,
it would hit more home with you than me just telling you it now. Are they this good?
It's too early for me.
No question.
I have a hard time doing that, saying that, but I do trust people's eyes that have much better eyes for the NBA than I do, and to me, that's one of those where I go, wow, that's eye opening to me.
Yeah,
and I would be interested to hear. I'd be interested to check in on that same opinion at Game 30.
Sure,
Game 35.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
something along those lines. I would feel very interested to be able to check in on that. That's Brendan Gunn, ladies and gentlemen. Brendan Gunn, ladies and gentlemen.
Dressed to his finest today. Look,
he's wearing his Sixers stuff, man. He is Sixered out, which is awesome. I get that. I would like to just check that out. Give me. The
reason it kind of stuck with me is because we can say that, fans can say that. We've talked about like how much fun it's been through 7 games. These people that I deal with are the most measured. They've seen everything in the NBA. There's nothing that surprises them. When statements like that come out early on,
that's bold.
It sticks with me, yeah. It really does.
But I trust them. I trust their eyes.
Yeah.
More than I trust my own. So I'll listen to something like that and go, wow, that's a strong statement. I love it. I love seeing what Tyrese Maxey's doing. And again, Tyrese Maxey's one of the happiest people in the world right now because he's sitting there going, yep, I got a contract coming up and I am being showcased to have my best season ever, which tells me completely the 76ers know that he is absolutely one of the cornerstones of what they're going to accomplish in the future, which is fantastic.
He's blinking dollar signs.
Oh, my gosh.
If you get up close and personal with Tyrese Maxey and you talk to him about the future, once he starts blinking, all you see is those dollar signs in his eyeballs.
This isn't a good thing.
No, it is.
It is, but it's not, though. I mean, like,
I get you.
You know, when they announced last season that they were going to push the contract talk to after this year, my first thought was like, damn, I thought they could have gotten him a little bit at a discount because he didn't take that meteoric rise that we thought. You know, like year 1, he was flashes. Year 2, this meteoric jump. Year 3, it was, okay, he advanced a little bit. And then this year, it looks like another meteoric jump with Nick Nurse. I thought, all right, maybe he won't be a max player. Maybe he'll be a little bit less than that. And now it's like, no, he's going to end up being a max guy. Like, he's going to switch with the bias. The bias is going to leave, and your max money is going to go to probably Tyrese Maxey.
If he's being, well, no, they're going to have 2 max slots, remember. I believe they're going to have 2, but one of the things I would say, Pat, is that what's the balance in your mind of is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
if
no,
Tyrese Maxey if he's in the neighborhood of Tony Parker's career, then we don't give a damn about that. You know what I mean?
It's a good thing in the sense of you got a max player at the pick 21.
Right.
The bad part is, you might have had a chance to save a few shekels last season if you extended them and you didn't. And I understand why they didn't do it, but no, ultimately, it's
right, exactly.
You don't care, right? Like you got his bird rights, you're good.
Hey, Stan in Drexel Hill, one of our best Sixers callers, joins us. Good morning, Stan.
Hey, good morning. Listen, can't talk Sixers without Stan from Drexel Hill. That's what I said.
I love it, man. Appreciate you.
Listen, yeah, no doubt. Listen, I actually disagree. When you ask if it's too early, I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that. I think you can see the template of what a team is going to be, right? Obviously, they're not a finished product, but the template is there. Listen, when is the last time we have seen Joel Embiid hard close on a three-point shot? I'm talking about on a full rotation defensively. Like, that's the thing. This is coaching. This is what Nick Nurse has instilled in this team. Now, do I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be Tony Parker? It's still, left to be,
Sure.
But I know he's already a better shooter than Tony Parker was. Tony Parker was a great mid-range guy. He wasn't a great three-point shooter. And Tyrese already got that on lock. Tyrese got the floater. So, and then you're noticing, too, that he's also playing defense. He had multiple defensive stops on Jaylen Brown that I was shocked by. I'm talking about ripping the ball in the block on Drew Holiday, taking charges. Like, I'm looking at this team, and I'm saying to myself, and I had this conversation with Tyrone yesterday, on the best show ever, where he was talking about how they won Zach LaVine, and I wouldn't be mad at that. I really wouldn't, because he's underrated as far as what he does. People kind of just throw it away. He's a very efficient scorer. But if I can get two guys and two names that I'm looking for, and I think Bob, I heard you say this last week, Alex Caruso and OG Anunoby. If there's any way that you can get those two guys, I think you're in perfect shape, because now you literally have a 6'5" guard who can defend and shoot, and then a 6'7" wing who can guard and still offensively can give you something. So I think the Sixers are in great shape right now. They're a lot better off than a lot of people assumed and anticipated. But I think the template for what this team, I don't know if they're going to win 60, but I would not be shocked if they finish top 2 or top 3 in the East.
Thank you, brother.
Would not be shocked at all.
Appreciate it, Stan.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, he makes some great points there. And just a little thing last night. Jaylen Brown is not a very good ball handler.
No,
for the Celtics. And I've never seen the Sixers take such advantage of it than they did last night. Constantly forcing them left, constantly forcing them into spin dribbles, and being able to get hands on balls, whether from behind or stripping him right out in front. I thought they played him really, really well last night. And they played well against Jason Tatum also.
Which is not an easy task. No. Not easy at all. It is 8:30 on a Thursday morning. You know what that means.
Yes, it does mean game time. And for whatever reason, the music bed is not working.
It's okay, though.
It's going to fire eventually.
It will eventually.
Yeah, look, 610-632-0975 as I try to figure this out on the fly, because it was working 2 seconds ago, but
it's okay.
Now it's not. So we're going to do bye-week trivia. Brendan Gunn did a great job.
Trivia.
Hey, he did a great job last week, so I put the reins over to him. And basically, we're going to go around just the room just like we did last week and just ask questions. And if you get it right, you win a prize. And if you don't, you don't win a prize. 610-320-0975. Yeah, we have a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Flyers and Blue Jackets next Sunday at the Wells Fargo Center. We have a pair of tickets to go see the Sixers Pacers Sunday at the Wells Fargo Center. A pair of tickets to go see the Sixers and Pacers Tuesday at the Wells Fargo Center.
That's the tournament game.
Yes, a pair of tickets to go see Iron Maiden at the Wells Fargo Center. A pair of tickets to go see Green Day with the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas on August 9th at Citizens Bank Park. And a pair of tickets to go see Creed and Three Doors Down at the Hard Rock Live at Etis Arena? Etis? Yeah, sure. Etis Arena in Atlantic City on September 28th, 2024. So get on the phone line, 610-632-0975. We can start out with John in the Northeast.
All right, John gets first shot.
Yeah, he's going to be playing with you, John Kincade. So he will be with you, and you can start off.
All right, John, I got a question for you here.
Alrighty.
Okay. Between which weeks does every NFL team's bye week fall during the 2023 season? Between Week 2 and 16, between Week 8 and Week 12, or between Week 5 and 14? 2 and 16, 8 and 12, 5 and 14. Every team's bye week falls within which category?
First, I want to say 5 and 14.
Pat, I think that makes him a winner.
It does, in fact, make him a winner. Okay, yeah, you won.
Right.
You won. Yeah, I'm trying to fix
We're having
this
trouble.
thing.
Something's not
our
firing.
system
It's
just
all right.
completely crashed. But yes, John, congratulations. You have won. You're great, and you have won a pair of tickets to see the Flyers and Blue Jackets next Sunday at the Wells Fargo Center. Get tickets at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com for all tickets available.
That's great.
Let's go to Liam in Conchi. He's playing with Bobby Cooney. Liam, you're with Bob. Bob, take it.
All right, Liam, let's get it done. Here we go. In the history of the NFL, there's only been one season where each team had 2 bye weeks. Which year was it? A, 1993, B, 1970, or C, 2002?
Let's go 1970.
Answer?
I'm sorry, Liam. That is
1970 is incorrect.
It would be 1993. The NFL experimented with an 18-game schedule, but pivoted back to 17-game slate after TV numbers dropped drastically.
18-week, yeah. They had the 18-week schedule.
Gentlemen, great news.
Which was great. What's the great news? It's working?
It's working. That's right.
Wow, it's finally
If we're
working.
doing bye-week trivia, we need NSYNC here.
We do.
Hit it, boys.
Bye, bye, bye.
That's right. Okay. All right. Now it sounds like game time. Now it sounds
like it.
Before it was the saddest game time in the world. You know, it's just three guys throwing trivia questions out there. Now it's a party.
Now
let's go to Anthony in Bristol next.
What's up, Anthony? I'm sorry, you got to punch you up to get you on there. It's Anthony in Bristol.
Yeah. Well, no. We'll do.
It's
we'll
Anthony
do
Delga.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll go Anthony in Bristol after that.
Anthony, whoever you are, you're
Okay,
Anthony, and you're on the
how
air,
are you,
and I'm
Anthony?
asking the question.
I am an Anthony.
Look,
What's up,
I can guarantee Game Time will get better after this. Promise you. Andy Reid is often known as the bye week master, having the best record after the bye week in NFL history. What was his record after the bye week as head coach of the Eagles? Was it 14-0, 9-5, or 13-1?
I'm going to say 13-1.
13-1 is
That's correct.
Yes, 13-1. He started his head coaching career 13-0. Then his last season, he did lose to the Atlanta Falcons after the bye week, and then he was fired. Anthony, you have won a pair of tickets to go see the Sixers and Pacers Sunday, Wells Fargo Center. To purchase tickets for any 76ers game, visit Ticketmaster.com/76ers. Let's go to Colin in Westchester up next. He's going to be playing with John Kincade.
What's up, Colin?
Hey, John, how are you?
Let's make this easy for you, Colin. It's simple. During his post-game press conference last week, Nick Sirianni brought his daughter along with him. He asked her what she wanted to do during the bye week, and she responded that she wanted to eat here. Was it McDonald's, Wendy's, or Chick-fil-A?
That would be C, chicken fillet.
It's a winner.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's
That's a
Chick-fil-A,
winner.
sir. It's not chicken
come on,
fillet, but Colin, we're going to give it to you
you're a
anyway.
winner.
All right, Colin, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a pair of tickets to go see. Let's go see Green Day, the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, Linda's on Friday, August 9th at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets go on sale tomorrow
That
for this
doesn't sound
one.
bad.
At Ticketmaster.com. Yeah, I've seen Green Day before. They're very, very good live.
I saw Green Day in Vegas once with clients.
Yeah, they put on a good show. And then Bob, I think you saw him with former Sixer great T.J. McConnell.
Linda.
No, that would have been Matt Cord. Yes, but
Wait,
awesome.
you saw somebody with T.J. McConnell, didn't you?
No.
Really?
Never mind. 610-632.
Seriously, Pat. Now you're making stuff up during game time.
Yeah, this has not been my best
It's
effort,
all right.
admittedly. Hopefully the bosses aren't listening. Ray in Washington Township's up next with Bobby Cooney.
Hey, Ray, how you doing, buddy?
Pat, I'm here struggling with you. Stay with it, my man.
I think all
Thank
the
you,
listeners
Ray.
are struggling right now.
I appreciate you.
listening to this.
Wait.
All right, Ray, here we go.
There you go.
Although Andy Reid has the most all-time wins after the bye week as the Eagles head coach, that doesn't mean he has the best winning percentage after the bye week as Eagles head coach. Who does that record belong to? A, Nick Sirianni. B, Ray Rhodes. C, Chip Kelly.
Oof.
Don't overthink it.
So somebody would
I'm
have to
gonna
be
go with Nick.
undefeated. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Nick.
Nick is...
I think that's a good one. That's good.
Yes, congratulations,
good.
Ray. You have won a pair of tickets to go see Creed, Three Doors Down, Hard Rock Live at Edis Arena in Atlantic City on September 28th, 2024. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Interesting.
All right, up next, we've got John in Norristown.
Okay, let me get it there, John. John, good morning, buddy. You're playing with Pat.
Awesome. Good morning, guys.
Good
All right,
morning
John.
to you.
All right, this 1973 album was the 7th studio album from Elton John. Was ranked as the 91st best album of all time by Rolling Stone. What album is it?
The Philadelphia Freedom.
No, man.
Oh, no.
It's Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Yes, because that wasn't an album, Philadelphia Freedom.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. But better luck next week.
Better luck, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to see if we can get a winner in Jeff in Downtown who's up next.
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Let's
Jeff,
see if we can make it.
You've got you with John there.
Okay, ready here? Only one head coach of the Eagles had a losing record after the bye week during his tenure as coach. Who was it? Was it A, Doug Peterson, B, Buddy Ryan, or C, Chip Kelly? Losing record after the bye week during their tenure.
How about C, Chip Kelly?
Oh, I wish it was Chip Kelly.
We wish
That
it was
guy
Chip
sucked.
Kelly because we can't stand him.
No, man, it was Doug Peterson. He went 1-4.
Yeah, Doug, that's surprising.
I guess he took off and went to Cabo or something. Yeah, and didn't really prepare. Kay in Ben Salem. Kay's up next with Bobby.
How you doing, Kay?
Hey, Kay.
Kay?
Hello?
You're on. You're on the air.
You're on, man.
All right, here we go, Kay. In what year did the NFL implement the bye week into the schedule full time? Was it A, 1990, B, 2005, or C, the year I was born, 1937?
A is correct.
There we go.
Yes, 1990 was the first year, and because of 1990 and because Kay got it right, he's going to win a pair of tickets to see the Sixers-Pacers Tuesday, Wells Fargo Center. Purchase tickets for any 76ers game. Visit Ticketmaster.com/76ers.
Kay's got to calm down a little bit, though.
He was too excited.
His
he was too
blood's
excited.
going to boil.
Yeah. And I get it because this game time's been amazing. We're going to go one more round around the horn here.
Right.
Let's go Randy and Broomall.
Oh, my hometown, 19008. What's up, Randy?
How you doing?
Randy, tell me, Bayside High School was the setting for this awesome 90s television show. What was it?
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell is correct. Randy knows his television.
Who was the principal, Randy?
I don't know.
Mr. Belding.
Dennis
Come on.
Haskins.
Very good. I've seen him do comedy.
Well, what is going on here? Well, what's going on is Randy just won a pair of tickets to go see the Flyers and Blue Jackets next Sunday at Wells Fargo Center. Get tickets at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. All right, let's go to, we got Neil. Neil in South Jersey's up next. He's with Johnny.
What's up, Neil?
What's up? How you doing?
Doing all right, buddy. Here we go. Who was the commissioner of the NFL that oversaw the first season in which every team had a bye week? In 1990, was it Adam Silver? Was it Paul Tagliabue? Or was it Roger Goodell?
That's just got to be Tagliabue.
It does have
it's a winner.
It's because
Good
it is
job.
Tagliabue.
Good
You
job,
crushed it, Neil. You crushed it.
Awesome, dude.
And what you just won is a pair of tickets to go see Iron Maiden at Wells Fargo Center on November 1st, 2024.
Iron Maiden,
Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Neil's pumped. You hear
Iron
it.
Maiden. I can't believe Iron Maiden's still.
That's right.
Man, that's
they're
unbelievable.
still touring. They're
That's
still touring and
unbelievable.
crushing
They're
it.
opening for the Stones.
Let's go with Mike in Philly. He's playing for Bobby Cooney.
All right, Mike, you ready, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. After earning a bye week for the first round of the postseason in 2008, which quarterback of an NFC East rival infamously decided to spend the week on vacation in Cabo with his then-girlfriend, Jessica Simpson, instead of preparing for the following game? Was it A, Eli Manning, B, Jason Campbell, or C, Tony Romo?
That would be Tony Romo.
Yeah, it was Tony
Yeah,
Romo.
man. Way
he
to go.
wasn't smiling after the bye week, that's for sure.
Man, no, he wasn't.
You have won a pair of tickets to go see Creed 3 Doors Down, Hard Rock Live at Edis Arena in Atlantic City on September 28th, 2024. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster.com. All right, final question, and let's go to Bill in Philly for this one.
Billy from Philly.
Yes, Billy from Philly is correct.
What's up, Bill? What's up, Bill?
Hey, what's going on?
Bill, tell me, Best Buy was founded in either the 1960s or the 1970s. What decade was it founded in?
That's why I'm going to go to the
70s is incorrect,
I
man.
would've gone
It's 66.
70s also.
Let's go one more. I don't know who's
All right,
on
one
line
more?
3, but I want to finish with a winner.
All right, let's see who's on line 3. This can be dangerous. Who are you, caller?
Albert Peters.
What's up, Albert?
Albert, all right, you're
All right,
going
here
to
we
be playing
go.
with John, all right? We want to get a winner to finish this out.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What is not a? Tell me which of these cities is not a fictional soap town? Salem, Port Charles, Schwenksville.
Schwenksville.
Is a correct answer.
Crushed it.
Great
Let's
job,
go, Albert. Let's
Good
have a
job,
day.
Albert. Let's win him
What does that
something.
have to do with our theme?
Let's win him something.
It didn't have anything to do with our theme,
Neither
but the
did-
man won. Why do
neither
you
did
hate
Best
people
Buy.
winning?
That's
Why are you
great.
against Albert winning? Because Albert just won. Let's go with, he just won a pair of tickets to go see Creed and 3 Doors Down at the Hard Rock Live at Edis Arena in Atlantic City on September 28th, 2024. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster.com. And you're against that.
Bob's against him winning. For God's sakes.
No, the theme was bye.
Well,
and
wait a
you
minute.
come out with whatever the hell that
you know,
was.
I'll tell you what. You continue second guessing them, and we're going to be saying goodbye to you.
My
And it
question
worked.
was going to be,
Goodbye
what's
to
the
you.
opposite of hello? to go out a winner. John comes up with soap opera trash that there's no buy in it.
I didn't really know what the tie-in there was.
I said
but
it was no
tie-in because the man won.
It just
That's
won.
all that
I
matters.
wanted the man to win, and that was what it was about.
The
I
man's
wouldn't
going
have
to
had
be
that answer either.
the man's
You
going to be
would've
singing
gotten that
arms
answer.
wide open because of John Kincade and his question, and you're sitting there second guessing it.
You would have thought Schwenksville was a soap opera town?
No idea soap opera towns.
You would have known
I thought it was a harder question than you probably thought it
Really?
was.
It's
Yeah.
Pine Hill that you bring up all the
The
time.
Pine Valley.
What I say, whatever.
There's Pine Valley.
Pine Hill is a golf course. Do you even know?
Pine Valley's a golf course, so shut
Do
your
you
ass
even?
mouth,
And I was
all right?
testing you, and you just won.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You have won a pair of tickets to go see Creed. You and Albert can sit next to each other.
Bryn Mawr is Pine Valley, and Landview is Westchester.
Yeah, nobody cares.
So there they are.
Yeah.
Somebody cares, Bob. You
I
like to
guarantee of
speak
all
in
of
these.
our listeners
You like
right
to
now,
speak in the
nobody
absolutes.
cares.
Stop.
Bob speaks in absolutes.
fighting.
He's allowed to speak in
Take
absolutes.
off your shirts. Make out your
Nobody
friends.
else. Not
Stop this.
I
It's
can't.
nonsense.
I can't. Right now, the
You
music.
can make out with Bob.
No. I
gotta go to
I
a
could make him
break.
sick with that.
Do your read. Make out with
Look,
him.
that would be terrible. Hey, we have so much coming up on the show, and we appreciate you being a part of it this morning. Hopefully, you won. There is something that I want to talk about, and that is the objective of this weekend. And for a lot of guys, this is the weekend where you cash in a little bit, and you start to. Yes.
Horny John. Is that what we're talking about here?
You never know. No, not right now. Not right now. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, maybe. Hey, John Kincade Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Look, the temperatures are dropping, and it's getting cold. But you know what isn't dropping? This economy is crappy. So you've got 30% on your energy bills. You could be
The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Been a lively Thursday on the John Kincade Show. It's a bye week for your Eagles. A lot of Sixers talk, a lot of Eagles talk today, too, though. And even some Phillies. We're going to get into that more. I want to wish happy birthday to one of our Philly treasures, Bob.
Who's that?
Adam Joseph.
Oh, way to go, Adam.
Celebrating a birthday today.
Which one is it? Do we know?
I do know. It's on his
35?
No, Adam's a lot older than you think. I think he's close to 50.
46.
Okay.
46?
Yeah.
He looks great
He
for
looks
46.
good, doesn't he?
He does look great for 46.
Jerk.
He really does jerk, yes. We love you, Adam. And so congratulations on that. I want to throw out here, and this is absolutely not going to cause anybody to be pissed off. You each have to come with your unpopular opinion on the Phillies offseason, one that you know people are going to absolutely skewer you for. You may not even have one. Your opinion may not be that unpopular about what goes on. But I'll lead off, and we will welcome people at 610-632-0975. I'll lead off. The Phillies need a backup catcher. The Phillies don't have an adequate backup catcher. And I don't want to hear about vibes in the locker room crap. I want a viable backup catcher because I want JT Realmuto to be valuable at the end of his contract and to extend his shelf life and to be able to be fresher, physically, mentally, more of a breather. This team needs a backup catcher. And again, I don't want to hear about the DJ. I don't want to hear about whether it's T-shirts. And I would appreciate it if next year he would be quiet and not be taunting the other team, which we just saw in the series before motivated the Phillies. And then he did the same dumb thing, a guy who doesn't even play. This team needs a backup catcher.
Okay. I'll say that, although it might be more popular than that, I'll say this team needs to find a real leadoff hitter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's one I did not expect to see on the list.
Yeah, I think they may have it here already. I lean away from the popular that people say it's Trey Turner. I'd rather keep him in the 2-hole. I think Bryson Stott right now, if I was manager of the Phillies, is my number one hitter next year.
Would you just play with it in spring training and then see if it would you see if it works?
No, I'd throw it in and keep with it. I think I would, John. I really do. I think, and now
I'm
you're not
against
messing
that
up.
one.
Yeah, and we know Rob Thompson loves the lefty-righty type of thing. You're not messing it up. You're starting a lefty. You can go righty, lefty, right. You can still do all that you want to do. But, yeah, I think I'm making Bryson Stott my leadoff hitter.
610-632-0975 if you have an unpopular Phillies offseason opinion. Mine is Garrett Stubbs, thanks for your time. Bye-bye. We need an adequate backup catcher. And Bob's there, a legit leadoff hitter, and you think it's in-house. You think that candidate's
I think
in-house.
Stott can be the guy.
Pat, where do you go?
I like Bob. I like yours.
You do like mine?
No, I like Bob's.
I didn't think you'd like mine.
Pondering yours, I think what Garrett Stubbs brings you at the price is a little too good to pass up.
But you can't use them.
Well, no, that's where we differ. I think you can use them. I don't think they do. Like, and it is one of my big problems with Rob Thompson is, and it's one area that I think Girardi was actually better at, was saving the knees of JT Realmuto by either putting him at first base at times, putting him at DH, or just simply giving him a day off. And then Rob Thompson came in, and while Rob Thompson's done a lot of good, he's also done, some bad things.
Sure.
And I think one of the things is driving JT Realmuto into the ground by having him play so much. But Garrett Stubbs is cheap. He didn't have a great season last year. You have arbitration rights, so I think that's one of the reasons why they'll end up keeping him. But I don't necessarily disagree that they offensively, they could use it.
And he's one of the he is one of the bottom backup catchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy who's getting $800,000
I got you.
season. So like affordability.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is. Yeah, and when he goes up for arbitration this year, it's probably not going to be much of a raise. So hopefully he can find value in teaching Johan Rojas how to bunt, because he did lead the league in bunt hits last year.
That is nice.
No, my unpopular opinion, I think for some people it'll be unpopular. For others it won't be, is Aaron Nola, thank you. Goodbye. I can't keep doing this. I can't sign you to a 5 to 6 year contract and go with the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde seasons of, okay, 1 year you look like an ace, the next year you're giving up gopher balls constantly. He's the most inconsistent pitcher I think I've seen. I don't want
most inconsistent you've seen.
like consistent. Look, you're either consistently good or you're consistently bad most of the time. For him, it's either like I've never seen a guy in a Phillies uniform that one game will look like a Cy Young winner and the next game will look like David Coggin. Like, it's bad. And I can't give you $30 million a season with the risk that you're going to once again lead the league in giving up home runs and have an ERA around 4.5. So I'm letting him go, and I'm not just overpaying for him because it's a bad free agent market. Because the free agent market is gross. Like,
it is gross.
I heard the Sonny Gray news, and I threw up in my mouth.
Well,
but
a 2.7 ERA is not
okay. That's
in a full
good.
season.
Yo, and he had a great year last year, but I don't think he's going to be able to replicate it this year. Now, he was college roommates or college teammates with Caleb Cotham, so they do have a pass there, and maybe
this is like team nepotism. If you're friends with somebody, we got to get.
Well, I think it's just the relationship. It means, to me, I don't look at it like that. I look at it like he's more inclined to sign with the Phillies, maybe for lesser than he would someplace else. But my thing is he going to sign for a 1-year deal? No, probably not.
No.
Any pitcher you go out there and you get to replace Aaron Nola is going to be a multi-year contract, and this could be expensive. So, but either way, I'm not bringing him back. I'm letting him be some other team's mistake, knowing, by the way, that next year he'll probably be great, and the year after he'll probably suck because that's just what he's been in his career.
John, do you have another one, like maybe a bigger one, like backup catcher?
Yes.
You're talking about a guy playing 20 games. So do you have a bigger one also?
Yes, I would like to move on from Nick Castellanos. I'm this lineup, which supposedly, again, I'm constantly told has the greatest hitting coach in the game, has arguably one of the worst approaches at the plate of any team I've ever seen across the board. Swinging it, more balls out, like just ridiculously bad balls, and swinging at them. So to me, I want to change something up. I think you've had two bites at the apple, and this year you regressed. You took a step back. I want some sort of change in what you're bringing to the table that has a chance to gel during the regular season and go. I would use Nick Castellanos as a chip to add to my pitching staff. And it may be to bolster my bullpen to get a closer, a legit closer, which I do think they need. And I don't want bullpen by committee next year. The bullpen by committee stuff, I'm tired of it.
Well, who's your outfield?
Who's your outfield? Yeah.
No, you're going to be. You'll be able to go. You can sign a free agent outfielder if you want. You could trade for a free agent outfielder. But you're maybe not going to get the same number as Castellanos. But I bet you can get consistently better at bats and more than adequate defense. There's many right fielders that are very good defensively. So I'm not worried about that. I want to change in something because just trotting back this group. We watched it. When the pressure was on and the biggest games of the year, this group, 2 years in a row, crapped out at home and then one game at Houston. And this year, 2 games, easy, a 3-foot putt. They couldn't execute it, and they were making those bats like sawdust. They weren't up to the challenge. I want to change something up. And Castellanos is the one that I think would be the least damaging to them if they moved on from him. Cody Bellinger? You like Cody Bellinger, Pat?
How much? I mean, I
got you.
I mean, that's the thing. It's all going to come down to money. I don't necessarily want to. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to move on from Castellanos. He's also got 3 years left. It's I don't know if I'm ready just to move on from that. See, to me, like moving on from Castellanos is you're moving on for the sake of moving on because you're replacing.
Oh no, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm changing because I've seen it. This group's not winning a World Series.
But is that because of Castellanos?
No, I'm saying is that I got to change. Well, he's one of the major reasons. He had a really good 2-game stretch against the Braves. 2 games. Games 3 and 4, he was ridiculous.
Well, I could look at the entire lineup and say that's the reason because the entire lineup really went cold. I mean, we're blaming Castellanos, but
in the Houston series, in the Arizona series, there were many that crapped out. He crapped out the entire series.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't crap out the last 2 games. He crapped out the whole season.
If you remember going into the Arizona series, we were talking about Kyle Schwarber, and I said, like, that's kind of baseball. Like, you're either cold And then that guy will probably get hot. Somebody who was hot will end up being cold. And sure enough, like Kyle Schwarber ended up getting hot, and Nick Castellanos cooled off. I mean, I think he's good for this team. I don't want to move on from him, but the idea of trading him for a top-level starter is pretty enticing. I don't know who that guy would be, though, but there is always something out there on the trade market that you can explore. Like my number one Nola replacement is Yamamoto. My number two would be trade market because the free agent market's gross. So I would look at Brandon Marsh before anybody, but if you don't, it's still the same problem that we talked about. All right, well, if you trade Brandon Marsh, and who's your outfield?
I love Bob's. Yours was very interesting though to me. The idea of, because that is something that I definitely don't want to. I do not want to sit through another year of Kyle Schwarber being the leadoff hitter. I don't want it. So I want to see a legit leadoff hitter.
Yeah, I just think he could be more productive elsewhere. Now, the success that the team had with him at the leadoff spot is what it is, and it's very good. I'm not saying it's because of him before people start coming. It's just they put him in there, and for some reason the team wins. It's not because of him. Sometimes it is. Most times it isn't, whatever it may be. Comfort thing, all of those things. I don't know. I just look at conventional baseball that if you have a guy hitting 46 home runs, I think I'd more rather have him in a spot where he has a chance to have guys on base.
And how many were solo in a row? Like he was
a lot.
He's sitting solo home runs because he's got the back end of the lineup not getting on base for him. It doesn't make sense.
I do wonder if, last season when they signed Trey Turner, immediately Rob Thompson said, all right, he's our leadoff hitter.
And he did say it.
And he gave Trey 14 games.
Ridiculous.
And then he yanked him from the spot, and Trey wasn't playing well. And we all know what happened that season.
Sure.
I wonder if this season with a fresh start, he goes back to Trey at the leadoff spot to start out. See if he can, get the Trey Turner.
Can he let him have like a month
well,
this
and
time?
that's the thing. Like, I would like to get a long, sustained run. I agree with you, Bob. I don't think that the success of the Phillies is tied in with, they're winning because Kyle Schwarber's hitting leadoff. I think It's like, well, yeah, they'd be winning if Kyle Schwarber hitting fourth.
They may be winning more comfortably.
I always harken back to the idea of like we would have rioted if Charlie Manuel and Ryan Howard batting leadoff. Like it's just, you got a 46, 50 home run guy batting first. It's
And he also too, with that when you're choosing to make a decision like that, that didn't work because when he got put at leadoff, what happened like 2 weeks later? Bryce Harper came back.
That's a good point. Caller's a point.
And that may be why the team started to win more.
Yeah,
just a weird theory that maybe Bryce Harper coming back had a little more to do with the Phillies winning than moving a guy who hits 198 to the leadoff spot.
I'm not trading the Harper guy. He's good.
What Rob Thompson does, it defies logic to me.
It's definitely head scratching, and then you're able to kind of sit back and go, yeah, but it's the biggest but. It makes no sense to me, and maybe I'm an old school guy when it comes to like baseball thinking, but it ends up working, obviously until it doesn't. But they've had 2 long runs in the postseason, and it's by doing this. So, I want to see him out of the leadoff spot, right? And I want to see them do this crazy thing of, hey, you're the number 3 pitcher. Well, you can go like 6 innings in a playoff game, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Going back to what you said though, John, about trading Castellanos, and then we brought up, well, who's your outfield? I know they came out with the news of Bryce Harper playing first base, but I do wonder if they were if they lose Nola,
right,
and they're approached by a team looking to trade for Castellanos or Marsh, would they possibly consider bringing back Hoskins to play first base and putting Bryce back in right field, and then your outfield is kind of set at that point. I wonder if they would.
That's an interesting thought.
Like this is so early. We're in November.
Marsh
and you're talking
doesn't get you Castellanos.
He might. I mean, no. I don't know if he would or not. It depends.
Right?
It depends on the team. Like,
okay,
you had Pablo Lopez get traded from the Marlins for Orales last year, and it's a move that like worked for both squads because both guys were cheap. So Castellanos might get you an expensive pitcher, or you might be able to get a younger guy under team control arbitration rights, because that's what Brandon Marsh is. He's an arbitration guy. He's going to cost a little bit of money because of his production. But either way, like I wonder if they're, we're sitting here talking about November. All right, well, our first base is set. We could be looking at January where they're kind of in between a rock and a hard place, and they're going to make a tough decision. Rhys Hoskins is still out there, not getting nearly what he thought. At a bargain for $11 million to have a first baseman, you put Bryce back at right field. I'm not ready to close the door on the idea. I guess is what I'm trying to.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to replace some big numbers, Pat. You're right. Like you're taking away Castellanos if we go by this. That's over the last 3 years, 22 and 89. You're losing Reese Hoskins, which, we know he was hurt last year, which is kind of a consistent 20 to 25 and 80. And that's 160 RBIs and about 50 home runs that you're just like kind of waving goodbye to. That's significant.
And when they made the playoffs and they're celebrating, numerous players talking about, don't forget Reese, our team leader. Don't forget Reese.
Yeah.
You're also losing the leadership in the locker room.
Yeah, and that's something that you've brought up a lot, John, with what happened with the Braves when they let Freddie Freeman go.
And they let Freeman and Dansby.
And Castellanos is well liked also. Yeah. Like everybody's good. Look, you're going to get along a lot better when you go to 2 consecutive World Series or get close to a World Series and go to one and, you overachieve 1 year and all of those things. You're all going to like each other a little bit better. But I think we will all agree that was a big part of this Phillies team. You get rid of Hoskins. Forget the numbers I just said. You get rid of Hoskins and Castellanos.
It's bold.
It is.
And also, what message does it send to potential free agents? Because Castellanos signs a 5-year deal.
And
he's
after
had one
year
bad
2,
season, one good season where he was an all-star, and after 2. Like, if I'm a free agent thinking about signing with Philly, now I'm like, wait, they kind of just traded him for the sake of trading him. That could be me. What other offers are out there? Yeah, I think it's just there's too many negatives that we don't necessarily immediately think of, and the production is definitely there. The locker room angle is huge because you remember the impact that Castellanos had on Rojas, and I talked about the revisionist history earlier with Rojas because of the playoffs, but like that guy was playing really good baseball, and a large part of it was his work in the outfield with Castellanos. And Castellanos kind of showing him like, dude, you don't have to be a rookie. You can have some swagger and some flair to your game, and be a little chesty. I think that helped him. That helped integrate. And we talked to Ricky about it. Like when he came up with the Phils and the hazing that went on. And now you've got Castellanos like bringing a young guy under his wing. That holds weight.
I wonder if, all right, John, if they came out and said this, the Phillies, no, Castellanos is here. He's our right fielder. Harper's the first baseman. But we are going to look to improve either left and or center field. Would that make you feel better?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm fine with that. Yes.
All right.
I'd be fine with that.
So if they could move, if they're not set on Rojas and the bat thing and all of that stuff and he needs more at-bats down in the minor league.
Well, he definitely does.
Yeah. So if they decide on that and they move Marsh to center and they go out and get a bopper in left or, a good left fielder, you're okay with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
But here's one thing I'm going to say, too, is on the Rojas thing. You're in a Game 5 in Atlanta without Rojas. If Brandon Marsh is in center field, that hit, that Acuna hit, that Rojas made a spectacular play on and got to, Brandon Marsh doesn't get to that ball. And that's off the wall. Bases are cleared. You're trailing. You're probably going to a Game 5 in Atlanta unless you had a 9th inning rally. So to me, I want that defense. I want Rojas in center field, and I want the hitting coach to do his job and to bring the guy along. And I want him to put in the work, Rojas, to put in the offseason work and to play winter ball, which he's going to do, and to just if Rojas hits 230 next year and plays that level of defense, I am all in on my 9-hole hitter. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, your offense is good enough right now.
It better be.
Where your 9-hole hitter will be able to give you Gold Glove defense in center field, and you'll be able to survive with a 230, 240. I think he hits better than that.
You do.
Yeah, I know.
I'd say 230 is my I'd hope for 230.
There is part of me that worries that this guy came up to a month, 2 months before the playoffs, and the playoffs were just an indication that Major League Baseball has a book on him. So there is a worry with me that he came up and pitchers figured him out because he came up from Double-A. I don't know how much tape there was on a guy from Double-A. I doubt that there was a scouting department that was really diving into the Reading Fightins. But I do think that he hits better than like 230. I would put it like 245, 250.
Okay.
But 230, I agree with you. Look, his value is going to come in the field and on the base pass.
He said,
I'm absolutely fine with him. If he's hitting like 240, 250 and playing that center field, hitting 9th, I have absolutely no problem.
I mean, this guy stole 14 bases in 164 plate appearances.
Gentlemen,
it's going to be more than next year.
Gentleman says here, are we just going to ignore the fact that Rojas was as effective at the plate as Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos, even better than Nick Castellanos in the National League Divisional Series?
No, that's what we were talking about. That's exactly what Pat said. We talked about Schwarber not being very good in the first series. Then he comes back, and that's baseball, like Pat said. It's just they had too many guys find that 0 for 12, 0 for 14, 1 for 16 slump at the same time.
2 years in a row.
Yeah,
2 years in a row. And nobody dares to mention that Bryce, 2 years in a row, absolutely went anonymous.
Well, that's because everybody went anonymous. It's for me. I look at it like.
But I don't look at him as everybody. I don't look at him as.
Yeah,
everybody.
I mean, you're going to look at the big name guy,
right. And
for
say
sure.
and say I'm expecting you to win.
But like looking at Rojas, man, people forget like the guy hit 302 in the regular season, but all of a sudden playoffs came around, he struggled, and I'm sitting in bars here and. Well, this guy, he can't be an everyday player. What?
It's ridiculous.
He hit 302, stole 14 bags. What are we talking about? He gets Gold Glove defense. Yeah, he's my starting Gold Glove or starting center fielder.
He does that at the major league level. Now he didn't do it over the same volume of time.
No,
but he gets the more, and it's almost like we're going to gloss over Trey Turner, we're going to gloss over Castellanos, we're going to gloss over Harper at the end of that series. Is that you got to give the guy time. Aris wants to join us. Aris, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Good to have you on.
Hey, I love the topic and all, but how about replacing third base? I mean, the outfield is set. Bohm disappeared during the playoffs.
He disappeared during the NLCS.
He was definitely fighting it. He did have that home run in Game 7 that was huge.
The thing is, Aris, weren't you impressed though? Like I'm impressed by the work he did in defense. He was a butcher at third base. And he played, I think, above average third base this year.
He did, but I mean, most of his production, when I see it, was insignificant because it didn't really matter. Like when it's time to get a hit, time to get an RBI, he always struck out. He always came up short.
I like Alec Bohm.
I don't see that.
I want to pencil in Alec Bohm.
No, yes.
I look at Alec
second
Bohm
full year as a player, and he's getting you 276 and getting you. 20 home runs, 97 RBI, and playing a great third base. What the hell do you want?
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know where that was coming from.
I'm the same way, like with Bohm with Castellanos. You're getting rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him.
Hey, the 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. Get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's, and for details, go to Bagster.com. We'll have more on this if you want to continue the discussion. If you've got an unpopular opinion on the Phillies offseason, we've had a few. Just checking for Garrett Stubbs here, replacements. John Kincade Show on 97.5, The Fanatic. I love Landis Block and Concrete. I love the fact that we created a jaw-dropping backyard paradise. That's what Landis Block and Concrete tells you they can do. But until you've seen all their beautiful materials, and until you've seen all the things they've been involved with, like outdoor kitchens, fire pits, retaining walls, Landis Block is your go-to spot for all outdoor living. Now, they've got a showroom in Souderton, Pennsylvania. I call it a showroom. They call it a store. You get to touch, feel, see all the materials, and then they can help you. You come with an idea, they can tell you, hey, we've done this before. We know the best contractors in the area that can help you build your dream backyard. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, they can help teach you how to do the project yourself. Just go on up to Souderton, Pennsylvania. You will love Landis Block and Concrete. They take the pressure off a project like this. You want a beautiful, jaw-dropping backyard paradise. Next spring, next summer, after a nasty winter, you're going to be begging for it. Let Landis Block deliver. LandisBC.com.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Goodbye, Reese. I'm Pat Egan, and this Sports Update is brought to you by PJ Wellhand's new drink menu featuring a wide variety of signature cocktails, including their fan favorites, crushes, and seasonal sips. Sixers are all alone atop the East after beating the Celtics 106-103. Joel Embiid led the way with the Sixers with a 27-10 night. Tyrese Maxey added in 25 points of his own. Sixers are now 6-1 on the year. The lone loss coming to the Milwaukee Bucks. Next up is the Friday night showdown against the Pistons at home. Philadelphia Union are moving on. The team beat the New England Revolution 1-0 to advance in the MLS Cup tournament. They'll now face FC Cincinnati in the Eastern Conference Finals. Next game will either be November 25th or November 26th. Phillies announced that Bryce Harper will play first base next season, meaning the team is saying goodbye to Rhys Hoskins. John Morosi from MLB.com also reports that the Phillies have interest in pitcher Sonny Gray if the team were to lose Aaron Nola in free agency. And finally, the Eagles linebacker Nakobe Dean will be headed to injured reserve after suffering a Liz Frank injury. Dean's injury is not to the same foot that put him on injured reserve earlier this year. This sports update is brought to you by Dell Technologies. Black Friday is Dell's biggest sale of the year. Save on laptops like the XP S13 engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform and more. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. I'm Pat Egan on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Win a free trip or two to Spring Training 2024. The Vikings will be back, and it all starts in Clearwater. Listen weekdays at 8 a.m., noon, and 4 p.m. for your chance to win a $25 Rally House gift card and qualify for a 3-day getaway to Spring Training in March. Courtesy of Philly Sports Trips. The trip includes airfare, a stay at the beautiful AC Hotel in Clearwater Beach, a VIP party, and game tickets. For complete details and another chance to win, go to 975thefanatic.com. Win a trip to Spring Training 2024. Weekdays at 8, noon, and 4. Presented by Rally House. Your city, your house. PhillySportsTrips.com. Travel with the pros. And 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, it's Ricky Bowe, and I want to tell you, construction sites are notoriously dangerous. It's not just the frequency of accidents that happen, it's the severity of the injuries that result. Whether the accident is caused by poorly maintained equipment, ignored safety regulations, faulty materials, weak scaffolding, or exposed electrical hazards, the employer is often negligent and at fault. But they'll try and blame the employee in order to escape potential liability. That's why, as soon as you experience an accident, you need to call 1-800-JUSTICE and get a free consultation from the personal injury experts at Swartz Culleton. You may be eligible for more than just workers' compensation. If there's a third-party liability from property owners, equipment manufacturers, or other contractors on site, they'll find it, and they'll make sure you are properly reimbursed for recovery, rehabilitation, loss of income, plus non-financial aspects like pain, suffering, and emotional distress. Need to know more? Visit SwartzCulleton.com or call 1-800-JUSTICE. In this David versus Goliath battle, they're the ones carrying a big slingshot.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes or overweight or high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509 or biglou.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Save on stuff you really need and stuff you bought for fun. Stuff you've always really wanted this holiday at Amazon. Stuff that is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff by your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay with ice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can't name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Say big on stuff at Amazon. Stuff.
I've got the best way to kickstart your holiday shopping. Go to Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spas for their exclusive pre-sale Black Friday BOGO event. It's buy one, get one Black Friday gift card. Purchase a gift card at any of their 60 Philadelphia area Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations at guest pricing and receive a free promotional gift card. If you're on the hunt for special online deals, explore their exclusive online offers. You're going to love Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spas. Restrictions do apply. See the spa for more details and tell them Kincade sent you.
Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union offers free checking without the fine print. That's right. Straightforward and simple. Enjoy no minimum balance requirement, free online statements, free fraud monitoring services, and get an instant issue debit card. Open your free checking account at fmfcu.org/no fine print or at an FMFCU branch. Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Membership eligibility applies. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, imagine if your favorite casino came with an undo button. Well, guess what? You get that. With FanDuel Casino's Play It Again. Get up to $1,000 back if you're down after your first day. Play your favorite table games and hundreds of slots for real cash. You're going to see why FanDuel Casino is the #1 rated online casino app. So many great things to do with their daily and weekly promotions. When you do play, you play with a live dealer. And if there's ever any questions, they have an in-class customer support team that's going to help you all the time. So sign up for FanDuel Casino with FanDuel.com/Bob today and play it again with up to $1,000 back if you're down after your first day. That's FanDuel.com/Bob. 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania, must not have previously placed any wager on FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel Casino, Betfair Casino, Mohegan Sun Casino, or Stardust Casino. Refund issued as non-withdrawable casino-only site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/casino. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, just start singing, guys.
Hopefully you're... I don't know the words.
Gentlemen. It's been one of those days.
It has really been, but it's been a good day, and hopefully we're going to have a little bit of fun and continue to. The off-season, let's just say unpopular opinion, and it was funny because Colin posted something to social media. He goes, John thinks the Phillies should look into getting a new backup catcher. No. I want our version of Arcia gone, and I would like a legitimate backup catcher because I see the benefit in the flexibility of being able to help preserve our own catcher who can then be healthier, fresher, not wear down. I think there's a double benefit. You improve a position where you have one of the worst backup catcher situations in Major League Baseball, and you also then think you do not agree with that.
Well, no, I think you can absolutely improve from Garrett Stubbs. I'm not going to sit here and tell you can improve from a 200 hitter, but my fear would be that they look at backup catcher like the Eagles look at linebacker, where you're looking at it from the viewpoint of, and the way that I would usually look at it. Oh, yeah, you get a better backup catcher in here. It saves JT, and you're good. And my fear would be, well, yeah, they could get a better backup catcher in here. It's not going to matter because they're not going to play him anyway.
See, I think
because they look at JT like an every single day catcher, and it's just like you're still going to get the same at bats for an improved catcher that you do for a Garrett Stubbs. So at that point, what does it matter? You might as well just keep Garrett Stubbs because he's cheaper, and you can use that money elsewhere.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't have that mentality. I hope that they look at best practices and say, we do a lot of things that are so absolutely unorthodox that maybe aren't the best. Maybe we're not smarter than every other team in baseball.
Yeah, I think, though, that's why I asked you the question, is there something bigger? I think on the list of priorities, it's probably pretty low. That's why it doesn't concern me all that much. And what Pat said, I think they have to change their philosophy. Whether it's Garrett Stubbs or you get somebody else, you have to get JT Realmuto out of the catching shin guards more often. whether it's first base, whether it's DH, whatever. Stop having those knees have to bend down there like 145 times a year. Like, make it 125.
125 would be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Great number.
So they have to buy into that philosophy. And maybe if it's still Garrett Stubbs, I don't care. You got to put him out there.
Hey, Dave in Ben Salem joins us on The Fanatic. Dave, good morning. You're on.
How are you?
Dave, what's up, buddy?
Show's awesome day. I know we're talking baseball, but let's congratulate the Sixers on a big win last night against Boston.
That was
a great night, and you were there, I'm sure.
It was a great win, man. Bob, it's great seeing you on Monday night with your daughter, man. So far, every game I work, they're undefeated. Let's hope it keeps up.
Attaboy, Dave.
Well, you gotta make it. What do you think about the off season with the Phillies, though?
It's going to be a tough offseason. You're going to have to make a lot of critical decisions. Now, I hear the rumors about Sonny Gray. Would you guys be interested in adding him to the Phillies?
I think I would. Yeah, I'm not, as long as it's not the caveat of he's replacing Nola. He's a good arm. I'd put him on the staff. I don't necessarily have to say, oh, he's my number two. Money, all that comes into place, Dave, but he's definitely interesting to me.
Totally agree. And I know we're all going crazy about this leadoff hitter. And I really believe that Rob puts Kyle up there because he wants to get him more at bats at the leadoff. But Arizona showed you in the last two games that they won here, that small ball can win. I love the home runs, guys, but we got to learn how to play small ball. We got to get guys on base. We got to be able to steal bases and just, I know the leadoff hitter is a tough question. Would you guys consider Bryson in that leadoff spot?
Yeah, that's
who Bob said.
Yes, and I agree because he fouls off a lot of pitches. He makes the pitchers work almost every time he's at bat. You got to get guys on base, and then you get the runs across. So let's hope they do the right thing. They make some good acquisitions. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Dave. What are you doing with your weekend?
I'm basically working a concert there tomorrow, and then I got the Sixers the next couple games.
Oh, well, then that'll be great. Yes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Stay busy, Dave.
Thanks, man. Love you too. See you, buddy.
It's funny, when I brought up Schwarber, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago or whatever, and somebody said to me, yeah, but you're missing that he walked 126 times from the leadoff spot. He's getting on base. And I said, good. He can walk, but then he can't run. That's big to me. You talk about small ball or whatever it may be. Yeah, he gets on first base. The guy can't run. Nothing against him. He's just not a fast guy. I can't have my leadoff hitter clogging up bases. Great that you're walking 125 times a season. If I get a double to the gap or a single to the gap where you should be on third and you're not, all you're doing is having Trey Turner behind you, and he can't go anywhere.
I think what it boils down to is, do you think his production, whether it be walks or home runs, dips if he weren't batting leadoff? Now, maybe home runs he hits 2 or 3 less. But 2 or 3 less, you're still hitting like 45 bombs.
Why would he?
Walks, I don't know why he would walk less hitting third or fourth.
Let me think about it this way. Is that, Pat, if he was, let's say, Bob, what would you say, like batting cleanup? Like if he moved in the lineup? Batting behind Harper?
I don't think they're going to go lefty, so he would probably bat fifth.
So he bats fifth. So he bats fifth in the lineup. Pat, he gets so much more protection batting fifth. So I think he sees more strikes to swing at. I think he sees better opportunity to hit more home runs.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
I agree with you. I mean, that's one of the reasons I want him out of the leadoff spot, because I think that his production will still be there. Runs win games, and if you've got guys on base and he's hitting home runs, you're in a good spot. If he bases loaded, I want his eye at the plate. I want that on-base percentage sitting there in the 4 or 5 hole with the bases loaded, because you're either, walking or you're getting a home run or you're getting a big hit. You kind of want that, because he can't run. If he could run, it would be something. You're right, Bob. I would have no problem batting him first or second, but he can't, and he does clog up the base paths, especially when you have Trey Turner hitting second. Trey Turner can fly, and now he's got to wait.
And he sits in, and he's clogged up on the base paths.
Yeah, Trey Turner's a Ferrari, and he's got to wait behind a school bus that's got the stopping every base to let the kids off.
It's another thing where they don't use best practices. They're not. They have a guy with all those skill sets, and they literally handcuff it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
For people that say, and maybe correctly so, that make the argument, I should say, about plate appearances. So Schwarber had 720 this year. Let's get somebody comparable that played as many games as him that was further down the order. I went to Nick Castellanos. Castellanos played almost every game, just like Schwarber, and batted, normally 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere down there. He had 50 over 162 games. He had 50 less plate appearances. Is that enough to sway you in one way or the other? Is that the argument to be made? If you take away 50 appearances from Schwarber, does 47 home runs or 6, whatever, dip down to 38?
I thought over a course of a season, though, it was like 18 or something.
I just took the two guys this season.
Yeah, I mean, because it's I don't know. I don't like it. We got other people want to get involved in this conversation, though. Matt in West Deptford joins us. Hi, Matt.
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Take us off speaker, would you? Because you sound like you're in the middle of a shower. Like you're taking a shower.
Maybe he is in the middle of the shower.
Oh, no, he isn't. No, he's got it right
Jimmy!
there. What's up, Matt?
Can you hear me? Is it better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
You're on my Bluetooth. I'm driving. I got you on my speaker now, so we're good.
All right, buddy.
Listen, I want to talk about the Sixers first, and then I got something on the Phillies. The Sixers, man, I think I am so happy that they got rid of that loser, right? As in Doc Rivers and James Harden.
Wow.
We finally have a coach, right? These players play for this coach. And you see he won with the Raptors when he had basically just Kawhi and all that. We finally have a point guard. Maxey, the ceiling's so high for that dude, right? You can just see this team, I think the Celtics and the Sixers are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. I think the Bucks got worse by getting rid of Drew Holiday, right? I'm not even worried about Milwaukee. I think the Sixers, I think we have a great chance of making it past the second round.
Yeah.
Finally.
That's one I certainly hope you're right, because I've been waiting to see that for a long time.
Yeah, and one thing with the Phillies, right? I mean, I'm one person. I'm happy. I'm happy we can say good riddance to Reese. I'm a person that likes defense. I understand players are streaky, hitters are streaky, but Reese stunk at first. We finally have a first baseman with Bryce. I would love to see the Phillies. Hopefully they can sign Nola, but it's not looking like it. I would love to see Trevor Bauer in red pinstripes, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he's.
I saw something on Twitter about that this morning.
He's falsely accused.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
His reps were at the meetings that just got canceled.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Stomach bug.
I don't know what's.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, stomach
what they
bug.
said, stomach bug.
It was running rampant, so they canceled the meetings.
Oh,
but
wow.
his reps were there trying to drum up interest.
And it's weird because once you're accused of something, even when it finds out later on, years later, that obviously you were part of a scam, people don't forget it.
The court of public opinion.
They look at you and go, well, he had to do something wrong. Maybe it wasn't exactly what they say, but it was probably something just like that.
My big fear with him isn't even the case necessarily, because that's been settled and all that, and it does look like he probably got screwed over in that whole thing,
right.
And she was looking for a money grab. My big problem with him is he's a JO.
He is.
He's not liked.
No questions asked.
And
no questions
you
asked
look
about
at
that.
Teams that he's been on, whether he had success or not, he's not well liked.
No, he was not a clubhouse.
No, and
positivity.
it's because look, he's a very smart guy, but he thinks he is the smartest guy in the room, and he thinks he reinvented how to throw a baseball. And this is dating back to when he got drafted, telling teams like, "Don't draft me if you're not going to let me do my throwing program and all that." And he's been successful. He's with won a Cy Young award, but he wasn't well liked in Cincinnati. He wasn't well liked in L.A. And my fear is, in a sport that is so big on clubhouse chemistry and guys getting along and
it's
all that.
It's real, and that's real.
It is real. I
yes,
mean, these guys are playing 162 games together. You got to like each other. Bringing that guy in, I would worry that it might ruin some of that. He's very talented, though. There's no doubt about it.
Is it the same in the NBA, Bob? The idea of bringing in a guy that maybe doesn't fit, because a couple people in email saying that's Kelly Oubre. Is that Kelly Oubre has not been a popular teammate in some other spots?
Yeah, I mean it's research. Why a teammate not being great with teammates? Okay, I can almost live with that. That's guys among your group or whatever, and but when you're talking about a guy that has problems outside of the game and those things, and it's hard to get over. We're all about second chances, I believe. maybe he gets it, but you can't overlook the fact of what Pat said. From the beginning, he was a J.O. This thing happened, which turned out maybe not to be what happened, but you can't take away the fact, all right, let's get back to reality. The guy's still a J.O. Do you want him around?
Do your friends have anybody, though, in your friend group where you're like I had somebody in our neighborhood back in the South that I did not want to play golf with because they ruined golf every time. The minute that they had a couple bad holes, it was stomping around, sitting in the cart, on the phone, being grumpy, just bringing down the mood. And my other buddies love this guy, but I didn't want to play golf with him. I would literally avoid playing golf with him. Sometimes in a locker room, maybe a guy's in a bad situation. He doesn't get along with the people that are in that locker room. He goes to another locker room, fits in perfectly.
Sure.
Or they police the locker room better. They maybe there's a in the locker room, they don't tolerate some of the crap that this guy's pulled before.
Yeah, look, it's humanity. It's not that much different than anything else. If you got 15 of us from these offices and put us all together for 162 games, 82 games, 6 months out of the year, all the time, I'm sorry, it ain't going to be kumbaya.
No.
Like, it's just not. And I've seen guys go at it in locker rooms. I've seen guys want to kill each other. I've seen guys curse each other out in the locker rooms.
You're talking fight, not go at it, right? I mean, they're just fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh,
Just making
yeah,
sure.
no. Like, you know, and then you go out on the court, and I would look in the stands, and the people in the stands would never know that happened. And that was behind closed doors, and that wasn't something I was reporting because it wasn't on the record or whatever. But, you know, I've seen a guy get up out of his locker and tell a star player to shut the F up and sit down and all, you know, like.
Told a star player, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
And the guy did.
Really?
The star player did. Like, you know.
Was it out of respect?
Think of the time I was covering the Sixers.
Okay.
Star player is a loose term there.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on and goes into things. And, yeah, Kelly Oubre could come here, and maybe Joel Embiid stood up and said, Kelly, I'm going to tell you in front of this whole team, you come here with not a great reputation, but we're going to give you a chance. And we all love each other here, and we're going to look for a good season, and let's see how it plays out. And maybe he went around, hugged everybody and everything. I've seen that, too.
Sure.
Like, it's not so different than regular humanity. People like each other and don't like each other. There are few people in this world I wouldn't go out and get a beer with. But if you put me with those people, I'll say to them, like, no, I'm good, man. I don't need to.
Scotty sends me an email here, and he says, John, Garrett Stubbs is the glue of that clubhouse. He's the number one guy inside it. He's the guy who keeps the vibes going positive. They can't part with him. I said to Scotty, since I've returned home, I've been in the Phillies clubhouse probably 30, 35 times. I don't know where I don't believe that for a second. Do I believe that he's a positive force in that clubhouse? Yeah, absolutely. But I've seen guys come and go from teams all the time, especially marginal talents. And the team survives. The team moves on, and the team finds other guys that do that kind of stuff.
Here's why I fight back on your line, I think.
Okay.
And it goes back, like the vibes thing is, I think it's real. I think he does, you know, keep the locker room loose. But your line of thinking is if we get a better catcher,
it helps
a better backup catcher, it helps them because they play the backup catcher more because they have more confidence in him, and it sits JT and it saves his knees.
And I can let JT have Bryce have a day off.
Oh,
or I can let JT DH.
Oh, yeah,
it opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, what you're saying makes perfect sense. The reason why I don't think it happens, and this is why I just say, you know, keep Garrett Stubbs because he'll be cheap, is in 2022, he had 121 plate appearances. He had 264.
Not bad.
His OBP was 350. He had 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. It was a good season. I mean, for a backup catcher, it's what you want, right?
Absolutely not.
Last year, this is coming off a good year. Last year, 125 plate appearances, 204, 274. So my point is, even when he has a good season or a bad season, his plate appearances are the same. So the idea, I think, that if you get an upgrade in that area, that it'll be any different. I just don't believe it will.
Thompson.
And that's it. I think that Rob Thompson has an idea in his head of backup catchers are going to get, you know, probably anywhere from 40 to 50 games a year, and that's about it.
That's a great point. I mean, Pat, that's a great point against doing it because that really does make some sense there. I'm just all about the flexibility. And two,
I'm with you.
And two, I'm old school as far as understanding if I can find a way that JT Realmuto becomes more valuable to me, and I can protect him more, that's more valuable to me than having Garrett Stubbs.
It annoys me to this day that that all season long, JT Realmuto did not touch first base with a first baseman's man. You had an opening at the position.
In the beginning of the year.
You've got a guy that has played the most innings behind the plate the last 3 years. And just to give him a day off and keep his bat in the lineup and all that, you won't put him at first base. We're putting Jake Cave over there. What?
That drove you crazy, too.
Yeah, Jake Cave is my Christian Pache. Like, Bob is Christian Pache. I got Jake Cave.
There's Garrett Arcia for me. Is
we all have one.
The fact that you had one. You just saw a team do that, and then you go and do it. It's stupid. Bill in Lansdale joins us. Bill, good morning. You're on The Fanatic. How are you, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good to have you on, man.
So I was watching the Sixers game last night, and it really reminded me of something. And if you go back to the year where the Sixers went to the championship with Iverson, it kind of seemed like somebody figured out that, Iverson wasn't going to play well with any other superstar, and they just surrounded him with really good role players, and it was very successful. And that's kind of the vibe I have right now with this team. I don't necessarily think that brings you a championship, but I wonder if anybody else kind of felt that way right now with the current lineup.
I haven't gone there so much, Bill, because that was such a one-man team. You make a great point, how they surrounded with defensive players and the sixth man of the year, all those things. But that was such a one-man team. I don't look at the Embiid-led team, and I could be wrong here. Do you look at this Embiid-led team as much as a one-man team, as much as that Iverson 2001 team was?
Iverson didn't have a maxi. I'll give you that. And honestly, the team gets scary without Embiid in the lineup. But it's sort of the same. No one really expected the Sixers to be good that year. No one really expected the Sixers to be good this year. And it just had it just really seemed to have that same kind of vibe to me so far this year.
I love the fact that you're that positive, though, Bill, which is good because we're all looking for something to be. A lot of people were saying during the summer, I'm sort of out on the Sixers. And I know Andrew has talked about it much on the midday show. The idea of how are you out? How are you out on something that, I can have somebody say, I don't believe my team's winning a championship or they're good enough to win a championship. I totally can buy that because you can still be a fan and have that opinion. But the idea that you'd be out on your team, I don't get that. I'm tired of it. They've just broken me forever. I'm like, come on now. There's a lot worse teams you could root for.
Yeah, that Iverson team was different in that the expectations weren't there. You knew how good he was. You had a great, great coach. And then they start out at 41-14, and you're like, whoa. Then they make a trade to get the best defensive center in the league, and you're thinking, oh, wow, they're making these moves because they think they're going to go up against Shaq in the finals. And they have an unbelievably great run and win that first game in L.A. I'm trying to marry the two like Bill did. I'm not there yet. And you can't win in this league with a one-star one team with one star.
Not anymore,
This team would kick the 2001 team's backside.
Well, I think
backsides.
I think we look at the 2001 team, as the caller said, like a bunch of role players, because primarily they were. But when you trade for the defensive player of the year, he ain't a role player. He's the defensive player of the year. Like Mutombo was a massive get. And then everybody else I feel like was role players. But, I mean, when you get that guy, this isn't some of the teams that Allen Iverson had to deal with, which were legitimate role players.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
They didn't go as far. But when you go out there and you get if the Sixers had the let's say they kept Ben Simmons and they have Joel Embiid and then Ben Simmons wins Defensive Player of the Year, you're not going to call Ben Simmons a role player.
No,
because he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I never really liked that.
Deke, though, was such a, by the way, great guy, but one trick pony. To me, Bobby, is that I didn't see him as a multi-dimensional threat.
Well, his offensive game wasn't as big as a threat as you'd, like, I guess.
You would expect even.
Yeah, but his defense was good, and I'd have to look it up. I'll bet you he averaged maybe 18 a game that year.
Yeah, I would think it's probably close to. I was guessing that high teen.
I think he did pretty well, but right after they got him, they struggled. They were really struggling to integrate him into the offense and into the team. So if you remember, they trade for him in February, and then they went on a bit of a skid, a losing streak. But he was at no point was any Sixers fan sitting there going, damn, we gave up Pepe Sanchez for that guy.
I love Pepe Sanchez.
No, he only averaged
right? Temple legend.
Dude.
No, but I mean, they gave up. I mean, it's unfortunate because Theo Ratliff broke his wrist, I think. So,
yeah, he did.
Yeah, so they trade him, and everybody liked Theo, but he wasn't playing. And then you give up a young center in Nazi Muhammad, Tony Kukoc, who was good.
Nazi Muhammad.
And then Pepe Sanchez. I mean, like, you weren't thinking twice about that trade.
Well, that's ridiculous because the minute Sanchez was traded, I was out on that team.
That's right. Me too. I was
happy.
Let me tell you, as a young Temple fan, I was very disappointed about that. My dad had to explain to me, son, they just got the best center in the league. They're good.
Yeah, they're all right. They're all right. And Pepe is probably not going to end up in Springfield. He's probably not.
If there's a Springfield, Argentina, he might.
Mutombo averaged 17 a game.
I was guessing
in that final series against the Lakers. In the regular season, he played 86 games, limited 0-1, and then the full next season, and he only averaged 11 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, but playoffs in that 5-game loss to the Lakers, almost 17 a game.
That's impressive because he had a broken finger.
Yeah, broken index. Was it index finger? I believe.
I mean, they were all dealing with something, and then he played the next year with the Sixers. Then they traded him with Keith Van Horn.
He played the full next year, and then
they traded him for Todd McCullough. They got McCullough back.
You are ridiculous with your bibliophile brain.
It's what happens when
trades.
You were growing up, and a lot of Friday nights were spent by yourself. Dance cart was wide open.
It was wide open, so you didn't have
it's
to
like, what are you doing, Pat? Studying transaction sheets. That's what I'm doing.
He couldn't even get into the porn. He'd be sitting there watching the porn, and a trade would come into his mind, and he'd have to turn that off.
I'm not going to pretend that hasn't happened before. Where I've been diving into some websites. The next thing you know, I remember a picture, and I'm like, who was that guy? And then 20 minutes later, it's Ian Snell from the Pirates.
I got to look up John Candelari's career numbers.
I think he used to later on at night push the prism button and then another button to see it through the snow. To be able to watch stuff through the snow. I think that was the title of one of the movies.
Can't confirm or
deny.
deny.
The snow. Hey, we appreciate you being with us today. It's a Friday tomorrow. The Birds do have a bye weekend, but there's plenty of Eagles stuff to talk about. And more on the Sixers. We'll talk all about it tomorrow. We hope you're going to be here for it. Support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, Paul B. Moyer & Sons, and make a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today. Love you, Moyers. Join us at 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. We look forward to a big Friday with you. Andrew Salchunas is going to entertain you with Ray Dunn. Don't miss it. They're coming your way next. Have a great Thursday, everybody. With these temperatures dropping, it's absolutely going to be freezing cold. But it's not supposed to be freezing cold in your living room. That's why you want Window Nation to be part of you. Window Nation can help you save up to 30% on your energy bills. But, boy, are they bringing a great deal to the table right now. How about 2 free windows for every 2 that you buy? That's already big. Then how about this? 0% interest.